in the backfield and an offset eye. Play fake, throw incomplete. He was trying to get the ball to his tight end, Jawan Johnson, but threw that ball hard. He also threw it just a shade behind, and his tight end didn't have much of a chance to catch it. So that's incomplete. And it's going to bring up 4th down now and 2, and the Saints are going to go for it at the Seattle 45-yard line. Kendrick in the secondary now for the Seahawks, a veteran defensive back, had a pick last week. Rattler out of the shotgun. Kamara stays in the backfield. 5 defensive backs for Seattle. Snap. Rattler scrambling right. Now he's going to let it fly. Got a man open and he overthrows him. It was Kamara deep down the seam, and for a moment he was open. That ball he had to kind of reach back and try to catch with one hand. He could not. It falls incomplete. And we will take a break as the Seahawks take over the football at their own 45, 1st and 10. 12:20 to play here in this first quarter. No score on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Cynthia and Ed.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, out of the blue, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn or just stay at the stop sign. She wasn't even really sure where she was at. She was very concerned. It was very unsettling for her.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it, to bring the family in on it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. Find out how at heart.org/bloodpressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Me, a cat, moving in with a new human. It took a little getting used to. She has these weird games she likes to play, like this giant feather. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. It's almost like she thinks I enjoy it. But seeing how much fun she gets out of it, well, I guess it makes it all worth it. Humans.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Kellen Moore, the Prosser product out of Boise State, now the new head coach at the Saints, decides to go for it on down. Incomplete pass from Rattler, so the Seahawks take over. 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line with the usual suspects in the game. Sam Darnold at quarterback. Ken Walker III, the tail of the eye behind Robbie Utes, the fullback, with a tight slot on the right side. The handoff to K9 looks for room right side. Not much. In fact, I think they're probably going to call it no gain on the play, as he kind of was sliding, trying to find a little bit of a hole on the right side. Nothing there. The rest of that offensive front, Cross, Zabel, Sundell, who left the Steelers game a week ago with cramps, back in there in the starting lineup. Bradford, Abe Lucas on the right side, A.J. Barner, and Elijah Arroyo will see a lot of action, the rookie at tight end as well. Cooper Kupp, JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba the wideouts. Utes the fullback. He wings on the left. Now he shifts over to the right on 2nd down and 10. Sam Darnold going to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Breaks a tackle. Scrambles. Now going to loft one over the top. Got a man, JSN. Makes the catch. Makes a man miss. Stiff arms a man. Pushed out of bounds inside the 25-yard line of the Saints. Taylor was the defensive back as JSN reaches up, makes the catch behind him, and then gives him a hand to the chin to push him out of the way. A 29-yard gain, and Dave, it was all made at the start by Sam Darnold.
Boy, Sam Darnold is so mentally tough as well, and when things go wrong, he was basically in the grasp, spun out of that, and then him and JSN have kind of a special connection.
Here's a handoff to Walker. He goes left side. This time there's not a lot of ground to make there. That's a couple of runs by Ken Walker and nothing there. Warner comes over, the outside backer. Shepard also there, one of the defensive linemen, to help make that tackle. Second down, they'll call it a yard. So 2nd down and 9 from the Saints 25.
I'll tell you what, I like what K9 did there. He was going to get tackled. Instead of trying to make a little move, he just put his head down and plowed into Warner, the linebacker. And sometimes you got to establish that part of your game as a running back.
Walker in the backfield, 2 tight ends, and Walker gets the handoff, starts up the middle left side, tries to bounce it just a bit. Pretty good down-the-line play by the Saints, led by Carl Granderson in his 7th year. He's got 3.5 sacks on the season. He didn't have to sack anybody that time. He just had to slide down and make the tackle and hold K9 to 1 yard. Going to bring up 3rd down and 8 now at the Saints 24.
Well, you got Davon Godchaw and you got Cameron Jordan. Godchaw, he weighs 330 pounds. I'm looking at him. He's filling up my binoculars. I'm going to say he's more like 350.
Slots to both sides. Here comes the blitz. Ball is slapped down as Sam Darnold tried to find his receiver. Blitz was coming. Now there's a late flag thrown out in the middle of the field. And the Saints, we might get a call against the Saints like an unsportsmanlike conduct. And if that's the case, the officials are talking about it. But if that's the case, what a huge break for the Seahawks. Here again, Alex Moore, our referee.
Play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 90. The penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal is an automatic first down.
That's Brian Breesy, one of the defensive linemen in his 3rd year out of Clemson. First penalty of the game. Dave, one of the keys that I had written down, the Saints, like 20 penalties on the season, and the Seahawks just 4. The Saints have really been highly penalized, and that's a huge one there.
Yeah, and that's a Mike McDonald thing, and that was just totally unnecessary by Breesy. This is his 3rd year in the league. He should know better than that. You get a good play like that, and you force possibly a field goal or get off the field, and you're down there doing that. It's just selfish.
Glad he did.
But we'll take it.
There you go. 1st and 10 at the 12. Play fake to Walker. Sam rolls out near side. Throw is made. Touchdown! Seahawks! Jackson Smith and Jigba from 12 yards out. That's his first touchdown this season. He's caught a bunch of passes, but his first TD, and it was a dart from Sam Darnold, who throws so well rolling to his left. Between 2 defenders right on the money, no question about it. The Seahawks, thanks in part to that penalty on the Saints, take a 6-0 lead.
You know, there was some complaining about Sam not spreading the ball around enough, that JSN had too many targets. I'd say keep throwing to JSN. It's hard to believe that's his first touchdown. I mean, he's caught so many passes.
Myers with the PAT. It's up and through. 9:48 to play here in the first quarter. The Seahawks take advantage of the Saints' mistakes. Put the first 7 on the board. It's 7-zip. Seattle over New Orleans on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester. What are all the things you witness online in a day? Cats playing piano, selfies on your feed, your friend's picture being turned into a nasty meme that's been shared 50 times, 51, 52. When someone's being bullied online, it's hard to know what to do. Now you can speak up with the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Seahawks are back under the arches at Lumen Field on Sunday, October 5th for the 50th season game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't miss this historic matchup as both teams hit the field in their iconic throwback uniforms. Get your tickets now at Seahawks.com/tickets. And just in honor of the day, I'm going to wear not only my jersey from 76, but the same T-shirt and socks I wore that game as well. It should be a wonderful day for all of us.
I'm guessing unwashed. Is that right? Since 1976.
Myers with the kick. Miller at about the 7-yard line takes it back to the middle of the field and trips over his own man just short of the 30. Trying to get in behind the wedge, which they can't have anymore on kickoff returns.
Boy, Drake Thomas, you mentioned this, Steve, that when you talked to Mike McDonald, that he really singled him out on kickoff coverage. That's the second time he has driven his player into the ball carrier. And he just, gets under, and he's a pretty short guy for a linebacker. He's around 5'11", and he's got leverage, and he did a great job giving him good field position there.
1st and 10 from his own 29. Rattler again, this time from the shotgun. Kamara beside him in the backfield. Quick throw. Ball is caught by his tight end out near the 35. Ball caught by Jack Stoll. A 7-yard gain. So when Rattler gets that ball out of his hands quickly, Dave, on those short passes, he's done pretty well. He comes into this game with no interceptions.
Yeah, and that tight end found just a spot right between the two zone droppers, and very accurate passer, Rattler. I was very impressed watching him on film.
2nd down, about 2.5 yards. Ball at the 37. Rattler again out of the shotgun. This time he hands it off to Kamara. He's going to get a little bit, but not much, and then he gets pushed back about 4 yards into the backfield. Derek Hall among those. Jaron Reed also down at the bottom of the pile. And you talked about Derek Hall in our pregame comments on radio side. This guy's a man. By the way, back to the line of scrimmage. We'll get that in a second, Dave. 3rd down and a yard. Hand off to Kamara. He gets hit. I don't know. It's going to be close. I think he's going to come up short. And inside his own 40, Kamara now is going to take his helmet off and run to the sidelines. I think something's happened to his helmet, but it's going to be 4th down and 1, and Kellen Moore is going to keep his offense out there again. He's going to send Miller in the game, the backup running back.
Without Kamara?
Without Kamara, who's got to go to the sidelines to have his helmet fixed. Saints come to the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they're going to try to draw the Seahawks offsides. It looks like it's going to be a push kind of play for Spencer Rattler. They go for it. Flag is down. False start on the offense. This is going to back up the Saints 5 yards, and now Kellen Moore surely is going to punt. They weren't going to make that even if there wasn't a penalty thrown.
I'll tell you what, that first drive, they just didn't look themselves, but this defensive line and their physicality is starting to take over this game. And I think that play was stopped without the penalty.
Yeah.
And, it's not very often you see that play get stopped. But you're starting to see Jaron Reed and Derek Hall, like you mentioned. They even had Ty Okada up in there. And everybody is just selling out, and Rattler not able to pick it up.
Well, and as Jen mentioned in our pregame comments, that the Saints had to kind of juggle that offensive line because of some injuries, including not only to the starters, but to backup guys as well. So the Seahawks are going to try to take advantage of that. Kroger is punting. Torrey Horton, the rookie, is deep for the Seahawks. He stands just inside his own 20. I saw Kroger during warm-ups, and he had a couple of rainmakers, and here's one. This is a long high spiral. Horton back at his own 5. Gets 1 block, gets 2 blocks, turns upfield, got some running room across the 30, 35. He may go 40. What a block. Midfield 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Mr. Horton. Touchdown, Seahawks. Unbelievable blocks. Great run by the rookie. 95 yards. And the Seahawks take a 13-0 lead over the Saints. Holy catfish. What a return. And what a great job of blocking by those special teamers.
We got to pick up whoever just flat-backed one of the Saints. It was a beautiful thing. But Horton, what a great job just setting up his blocks. Surratt, the linebacker, number 44, just had a great block there. That's going to be one of those highlight film blocks.
Jason Myers with the PAT. And just like that, with 7:31 to play here in the first quarter now, the Seahawks up 14-0 over the Saints.
Today's students are smart, savvy, and heading towards a future filled with possibilities. Education is the light that can help guide them on their path to fulfilling their dreams. That's why Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. With every lottery game you play in the pursuit of making your dreams a reality, you're supporting the next generation of game changers who are using education as the way to reach theirs. Thanks for playing, Washington.
Place your bets. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, bet, and win. Bet on all your favorite sports: football, hockey, basketball, soccer, baseball, tennis, boxing, and MMA. Let the bets begin at the biggest and best in the Northwest. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Please gamble responsibly.
At BECU, we're proud members of the 12s community. Jersey casual dress code on Blue Fridays, hoarse voices on Monday mornings, and flying that 12 flag every day of the week. We know how much the 12s love to show their pride, because we do too. That's why we give our members a chance to show their Seahawks pride with every purchase. So join us and get the Seahawks Debit MasterCard from BECU, the official debit card of the Seattle Seahawks. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
That's Seahawks fifth quarter tonight on King 5 following Sunday Night Football. Paul Sylvie, Walter Jones, and yours truly will break down today's game. We'll be joined by a couple of Seahawks players as well. That's Seahawks fifth quarter tonight following Sunday Night Football on King 5. Well, how about that for a quick drive? A 95-yard Torrey Horton punt return for a touchdown. He's now got touchdowns in back-to-back games, a touchdown reception for the rookie a week ago in Pittsburgh. By the way, that's the longest punt return for a touchdown in franchise history of 95 yards. The last punt return for a touchdown for the Seahawks was our great buddy Tyler Lockett back in 2015. This one will go on all the highlight films as well. Great job by that rookie. And so, as we get set for the kickoff, Miller and Jones Jr., the deep end for the Saints. Jason Myers has been doing a good job dropping the kickoff in here at the 6-yard line to Miller again, out to the 10, 20, back to the middle of the field, breaks one tackle, and he is blasted, ends up on his back.
Guess who?
I think it was Thomas again. Let's head down to the sidelines.
Thomas was there and Surratt as well.
Let's head down to the sidelines and Jen.
Right before the game, Steve, I was talking to Mike McDonald about what they needed to do to force the issue against the Saints team that has really done a good job of taking care of the ball. And he said it is about maximizing every opportunity they give us, especially when it comes to the defense. Well, you have seen that happen a couple of times, and then the Seahawks getting points off of that before I think all the 12s even got to their seats.
Yeah, a couple of penalties have really helped the Seahawks today. Penalties by the Saints. So here we go. 1st and 10 for Rattler and company from his own 32. Now there's a flag down, movement up front as Miller is in the backfield in place of Kamara.
Left tackle left a little early.
That's Kelvin Banks Jr., the rookie out of Texas, Outland Trophy Award winner. Even great young players make mistakes sometimes. That's the second false start penalty on the Saints. You kind of get the sense, Dave, that they've fallen behind now 14-0, and they're all starting to get a little bit edgy, and now that the Seahawks defense can tee off.
Well, I'll tell you what, this crowd's getting on top of them, too, and then you've seen a bunch of big hits out there, and it's starting to soften them up.
Pistol formation, play fake, quick throw far side, caught by Miller. He gets hit by one, but breaks a tackle, turns upfield, and still doesn't get back to the original line of scrimmage. Nice play by the Seahawks getting out there on making the tackle. 5-yard gain, so it gets him back to the original line of scrimmage at about the 32. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Boye Mafe didn't make the tackle on that play, but he really disrupted that play. A screen pass has got to go. If you affect the timing of it, you allow everybody to catch up, and that's exactly what happened.
Miller stays in the backfield, just to the left of Rattler, out of the shotgun, slot to the near side. Flag is down. There was motion. The defenders up front didn't hear the whistle. It was kind of a late whistle, and so Jaron Reed got himself an armful of Spencer Rattler.
False start, offense number 12. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So that's on Chris Olave, the wide receiver. Boy, that really discombobulated are the Saints right now. That's their 3rd false start penalty, and we've still got 6:42 to play here in this first quarter.
You got Big Cat and EJ out there trying to get the crowd going. They're starting to get on top of them.
2nd down and 15. Miller again stays in as the tailback. Kamara on the sidelines. A slot to the far side. And now Cooks shifts over to the right. Rattler wants to throw. Breaks free. Flag is down. He gets out to the line of scrimmage and maybe a couple of more before he's tripped up and dropped. A 3-yard gain. I think it's coming back.
Derek Hall was held on that play, no question about it. And he's letting the left tackle hear about it.
Offense number 71. 2-yard penalty. 2nd down.
He's having a rough day, Rabes.
That's the 5th penalty on the Saints. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, he's a first-round draft choice, and this year, kid, as you mentioned, out of Texas, and that's a couple of penalties on him alone, and just a hold there right off the edge. Great rush by D. Hall coming off the edge there.
2nd down and 25 back at his own 17. Rattler from the shotgun. Kamara back in the game. Fake to him. Quick throw near side on a quick screen. What a great tackle. Kobe Bryant coming up to make the tackle. The catch was made in the near side flat. Rashid Shaheed, Pro Bowl special teamer. Pretty good receiver in his own right. 4 yards on that one.
What a great play by Kobe Bryant there. He fought underneath the block and was still able to kind of flatten out and get towards the sideline to make that tackle. Just a great job avoiding the block.
Saints 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Dump off pass. Flag is thrown. Near sideline. Tight end makes the catch, and he gets blasted out of bounds by Job on the near sidelines. I think this is going to be another holding penalty on the Saints. It is. And I think the Seahawks are going to decline.
Offense number 72. That penalty decline results in the play, 4th down.
So that's, I can't even keep track of them. That's a couple of holds, a couple of false start penalties, all on this drive.
Well, 2 of them to the big rookie first-rounder, Kelvin Banks.
At that time, they were trying to hold Chen and Nwosu from getting back to the quarterback. So it's been a tough first quarter here, happily, for the Seahawks. The Saints have hurt themselves. Here comes Kroger on once again to punt. Torrey Horton is still winded from his 95-yard punt return for a touchdown last time. He's just inside the 25. It's blocked. The Seahawks block it. It's going to be picked up. No, it's going to be fallen on. The Saints fall on it, but it's the Seahawks football at about the 11-yard line. It was DeAnthony Bell who got free, and I think he came through untouched to block that right off the kicker's foot. Kellen Moore comes home to Washington State, and he's saying, what in the world else can go wrong? Seahawks special teams spectacular here in this first quarter, and the Hawks have the ball 1st and 10 at the Saints' 11-yard line.
Kellen Moore's got to get his team together and say, guys, come on. I mean, nobody blocked him. He just came off the edge. Rabel, I know you don't run a 4.37 anymore. You would have blocked that. I mean, at this age, nobody blocked him, and just the mistakes that they're making, but the Seahawks doing a great job capitalizing on it.
Walker in the backfield. Sam Darnold out of the shotgun. Quick throw near side. It's Kupp. He's inside the 10, down to the 5, down to the 3-yard line. I talked about it last week. When Cooper Kupp gets his hands on the football, it's straight north and south acceleration, as now 2 Saints are down on the near sideline. McKinstry is back up, however. But a great block outside by Arroyo and took out a couple of the defenders. Justin Reed is their safety. They play a lot of 5. In fact, almost always they play a 5 defensive back, a nickel back kind of defense. Justin Reed, one of their most veteran guys in that secondary, and he is now hurt on the near sidelines. We'll take a break while he's attended to. 4:40 to play in this first quarter. Seattle knocking at the door, and they're up 14-zip.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
David, honey, this is your Seahawks intervention.
I don't have a problem.
David, you painted the entire house action green.
So?
You wanted to name our daughter the 12s. Listen, download the Fuel Forward app. Every 8+ gallon fill up at 76 and Conoco stations gives you a chance to win a VIP game day experience.
I can fuel my car and my Seahawks obsession?
In moderation, David. In moderation. Terms and conditions apply. See official rules at 76.com/Seahawks-rules.
Around the NFL with Curtis Rogers.
Crazy finishes to the morning slate. Rams and Eagles. LA once had a 26-7 lead, but Philly stormed back to go up 27-26 in the fourth. One last try for the Rams from 44 yards out with time expiring.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again. This time Jordan Davis, the big man, looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on.
Eagles with the crazy victory. They return that kick for a touchdown as time expiring. 33-26. They're 3-0. LA falls to 2-1. Packers and Browns. Could Cleveland really pull off the upset of the day? Andre Schmidt on for the 55-yard game winner.
Good snap. Good hold. The kick is on the way. The kick is good. The kick is good. And Andre Schmidt from 55.
Browns were down 10-0 heading into that fourth quarter. They score 13 unanswered to hand the Packers their first loss of the season. Let's go back to our guys at Lumen Field. Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman.
Curtis, thanks very much. As on the big screen, they're showing plays against the Saints in the past. And, of course, Beastquake is the greatest play ever against these Saints. Meantime, the Seahawks are looking at a 2nd down and 2 from the 3-yard line. They can still get a first down here. Walker, the tail of the eye behind Oots, the fullback. Sam Darnold under center. The handoff to Walker. Gets it going left side. Cuts back in. Down to the 1. Does he break the plane? He does. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III stretching out from about the 1.5-yard line. Gets that ball across the goal line. It is his 2nd touchdown this season. And the Seahawks take a 20-0 lead with 4:22 still to play in this first quarter.
Well, and once again, somebody got ootzed there. Number 23, Julian Blackman. A great block by Robbie Oots, just leading the way there, and great effort to get the ball across the line by K9.
I'm guessing they're going to replay this. They do look at all the scoring plays, but they're going to review this one to make sure, see if maybe his knee was down before he actually got that ball across the goal line. It was very close, as the official on the near sideline signaled touchdown right away.
I'm fascinated by the fullback Rabes. Max Strong is a guy, John L. Williams. There haven't been a lot of them in Seahawk history, and you got a guy now that's like a true old-school fullback.
We're going to take a break right here while they take this review. In the meantime, with 4:22 to play here in the first, Seattle up, if this stands, 20-0.
Hi, Seahawks fans. This is Steve Rabel for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. Lung cancer is one of the most deadly cancers in the U.S. and can affect anyone. However, there are certain factors like smoking or family history that raise your risk. If you think you might be at risk and are over 55, you could be eligible for lung cancer screening. At Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, you'll have access to lung cancer experts who specialize in diagnosis, treatment, and follow-up care. Find a doctor and schedule an online appointment today at vmfh.org/Seahawks.
For the Seahawks, growth is a team effort. Coaches maximize your performance. Teammates push your limits. But in business, who's there to help you grow? Lumen, that's who. Like saving game day broadcasts from lag time, connecting 60,000 plus live fans at the stadium, delivering benefits of the cloud for your network, secure as a defensive line, legendary as the fans that cheer them on. Welcome to the on-demand network that meets your demands. Learn more at lumen.com. Services not available everywhere.
Place your bets. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, bet, and win. Bet on all your favorite sports: football, hockey, basketball, soccer, baseball, tennis, boxing, and MMA. Let the bets begin at the biggest and best in the Northwest. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey, Seattle Seahawks fans, ready for some football? But what happens when life tackles you too hard? Accidents can happen on and off the field. When they do, you need a strong team on your side. CZ Accident Attorneys are proud sponsors of the Seattle Seahawks and even prouder of our winning record in personal injury cases. At CZ, they make personal injury claims easy. Don't let an injury sideline your life. Call CZ Accident Attorneys today and get the justice you deserve.
After review, the call stands. Ken Walker III punches it in from 3 yards out. The Seahawks now up 20-0. This scoring drive recap brought to you by the Chevy Equinox, from the Sporty RS to the adventurous active trim, and even the Equinox and even an EV. Equinox is where Northwest adventures begin. A 2-play, 11-yard drive and Walker from 3 out. Jason Myers on for the PAT. By the way, great punt block by DeAnthony Bell sets up that touchdown. Here's Myers with the point after. It's up and good. And, by the way, the sun comes out. The rain has stopped, the clouds have parted, and the Seahawks are up 21-0 in the first quarter over these New Orleans Saints. And what a first quarter it's been for Seattle, and what a quarter to forget for these Saints. Turnover on downs, a blocked punt, a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown by the Seahawks, and 6 penalties, 5 of them accepted, 3 false starts, 2 holding, and a personal foul have led to this 21-0. But, Dave, as you said, the Seahawks have taken advantage of every one of those mistakes.
Yeah, and, DeAnthony Bell, that block, it could have been, he could have overthought that, because when you're, free, you're like, there's supposed to be somebody blocking me right now. Come on, this is a joke, right? And you might look around and maybe miss, and he did a great job of just putting his hands. Rusty Tillman used to tell us, our great special team coordinator, that there was some ridiculous stat at the time that if you block a punt 90% of the time, you win that game. It's a huge play.
Jason Myers with the kick, coming down to Miller at the 1-yard line, out across the 10, 15. Tries to bring it back to the right side, tries to turn the corner, gets hit at the 25. A terrific tackle on the near sidelines. Seahawks football brought to you by Tulalip Resort Casino. Gaming excitement, dining, live entertainment, luxury accommodations, and spa. When all you want is everything. Tulalip Resort Casino. Details at everythingtulalip.com. Please game responsibly. So if you're Kellen Moore, the head coach of the Saints on the far sidelines, also the offensive play caller, what do you call when you're down 21-0 in the first quarter? He calls a handoff to Kamara up front, and Kamara gets wrapped up and dropped. Mike Morris grabbed the blocker in front of him and also the running back, threw them both to the ground, held them to a 2-yard gain.
Boy, he just took on that pulling guard we talked about earlier and just punished him. And then, like you said, he kind of tackled both of them, both the guard and the running back there. And, you know, Mike Morris has been kind of an interesting player. You hear all these things about him, and I think this year he's starting to make plays. He's starting to really get comfortable and come into his own.
2nd down and 8 for Rattler with a slot to his left. Shotgun snap, 4-man rush. He's going to throw far side, almost intercepted. Holy smokes. And lying down on the ground and just kind of pounding the turf out there on the far side is...
Oh, no, not Kendrick again.
Is Darion Kendrick. That went right through his hands, and he just couldn't believe he couldn't make that pick. Underthrown pass, and now the Saints are looking at a 3rd down, and call it 8. They're 0-3 on 3rd down conversions.
Darion Kendrick, I feel for you, brother. I saw many a pass go through my frying pan hands.
Rattler from the shotgun. Seattle's going to blitz. Rattler has to step up, shovel pass underneath. Kamara, he's got a 1st down, comes near sideline and run out of bounds. That is the danger of Alvin Kamara, because he gets a little shovel pass when it looks like Rattler is just about to be tackled. He takes it for 13 and a 1st down.
Boy, and I don't think that was a planned play there. I mean, I think that was just a breakdown, almost a sack by Rattler, and I think at the last second he just flipped it to Kamara, and that's been their biggest gain, is an accidental play.
Quick throw, smoke screen out to the far side. Ball is caught. Turning the corner and picking up good yardage on the far side is Chris Olave, the former 1st-round draft choice of these Saints out of Ohio State. He picks up 7. He's a good one. And another one of those Ohio State receivers. Of course, he and Jackson Smith and Jigba, 2 of the great ones. Back to the line of scrimmage are the Saints on a 2nd down and 3 from his own 49. Rattler looking left side. Throw, ball is caught by Olave. Steps out of bounds in front of his bench area for a 1st down. Picks up about 7. Seahawks are giving him a little ground on the outside. And the Saints going to use a little hurry up here to try to tire the defense out a bit as the Seahawks send Lawrence back onto the field. 1st and 10. Handoff straight ahead. Goes Kamara, and he is wrapped up by a couple of Seahawks, led by the guy who just came into the game, DeMarcus Lawrence, among others. Chinna Nwosu also coming in there, holding it to a 2-yard gain.
I love the edge combination, Steve, of, you know, you can get Lawrence and Uchenna, and then you get Boye Mafe and Derek Hall. They got 4 really good players that are well-rounded. They can play the run. They both, I think Boye Mafe may be the best pass rusher, but those guys they're very versatile, and they can kind of shift them in and you know, give them a break every once in a while, because they're all pretty much the same.
2nd down and 8, play fake. Rattler has time. Going to throw down the near sidelines. Underthrown. Intercepted, but a flag is down. It was an interception if it stands. The DB caught the ball, but let's see what the flag is all about. It looks like it may be against the Seahawks. Velus Jones was the intended receiver.
Illegal contact, defense, number 29, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. It was an automatic 1st down.
I'm going to call it on Josh Jobe, who ended up coming up with that interception. But perhaps that's one of the reasons he had the interception. They said he got hands on him too soon. So it's going to be the first penalty of the day on the Seahawks, and it's going to nullify yet another, what would have been a Saints turnover.
Yeah, I think that he would have had that catch. And, you know, that's one of those things, it was a penalty, it doesn't count, but he still did it.
Yeah.
Josh Jobe, that was an amazing play by him. I think he just ran into the receiver trying to get where he should be. Oh, that was necessarily a hold.
Under center is Rattler on 1st and 10. Hands the ball to Kamara. There's a little bit of a gap, and he slices through. Derek Hall reaches out, grabs him by the ankle, and brings him down. A 5-yard gain. Going to be 2nd and 10. Into Seahawks territory now. They'll spot the ball at the Seattle 33-yard line. 2nd and 5. Back to the line of scrimmage. Pistol formation with Kamara the back, aligned behind Rattler the quarterback. 2 wideouts outside the numbers, 1 to each side. Rattler steps back away from the line. Clock is ticking down. Going to turn. Hand to Kamara, who gets hit.
Wow.
Blasted near the line of scrimmage. Doesn't go anywhere.
Tell you what, Anthony Bell played up in the box there, and he looked like a linebacker. Shooting that gap, made a good, solid tackle.
Lost a yard to the Saints on that run. Clock now inside of 45 seconds to play in this first quarter. Seattle up 21-zip, and the Saints looking at a 3rd down and 6. Seattle is just one. New Orleans just 1 of 4 on 3rd downs. Ball to Seattle 34. Rattler, shotgun snap, looks outside left, throws the ball. It's caught, and falling forward for the 1st down between 2 defenders is Chris Olave. An 8-yard gain. Inside of 15 seconds to play now, and let's see if the Saints are going to try to get another play off before the end of the first quarter or not. They come to the line of scrimmage. 5, 4, 3. I think that's going to be the last play of this first quarter. It is. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 from the Seattle 26 when we come back. It has been all Seahawks all the time here in this first quarter. Seattle up 21-0 on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Listen, my life changed because someone was there to get me to use drugs. No one can understand. Whether or not they've struggled with addiction themselves, people seem to think that having someone who will listen is gonna help make it better. I'm realizing that I need help.
I'm listening.
I need help. I'm realizing that I think that having someone who will listen is going to help make it better. Whether or not they've struggled with addiction themselves, people seem to understand. No one can get me to use drugs. My life changed because someone was there to listen.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Today's game is presented by Delta. Enroll in Delta 12 status and earn 1 mile for every Seahawks passing yard this season. 12 status members also get priority boarding out of SeaTac Airport and a 12% discount at the Seahawks Pro Shop on the 12th of each month. Visit 12status.com to learn more. Saints 1st and 10 at the Seahawks 26-yard line. Kamara back in the backfield. 3 receivers across the board. Play fake to Kamara. Throw near sideline, incomplete. Rattler trying to throw the ball back shoulder to the wide receiver on the near side, Shaheed. And that falls incomplete, out of bounds. 2nd down and 10. By the way, if you're keeping stats at home, and I know a lot of you do, Seahawks are kind of behind in most of the categories, but they're winning 21-0 on the basis of great special teams and takeaways. Saints get to the line of scrimmage with a slot far side. Kamara in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Rattler, shotgun snap, play fake, throws back across the middle. Ball is caught by the tight end, Juwan Johnson, young man out of Oregon. That's an 8-yard gain inside the 20. 3rd down and 2 upcoming, just underway here in the second quarter.
That's a big dude right there, 6'4", 231, and he leads the league, the team in attempts and in receptions as well. So for a big tight end, that guy is a load to bring down.
Saints are 2 of 5 on 3rd down. Rattler's going to hand the ball off to Kamara, and he blasts into the line of scrimmage, and I think he's going to have it. Not by much, but he's going to have it. Lawrence, among others, there on the tackle. He picked up 3. 1st down and 10 at the Seattle 15. And the Saints have shown the propensity here in this game so far to self-destruct. So let's see if Seahawks defense can make that happen. Olave in motion from left to right. Play fake. Throw outside on the far side. Wow. Johnson makes the catch, and he is upended instantly by Kobe Bryant. A 1-yard gain. And Juwan Johnson is a big tight end, and that tree was just chopped down by Bryant.
I'll tell you what, Kobe Bryant, every once in a while, this is a huge compliment to him. I think he's Spoon. I think he's Weatherspoon. When you see him, the way he reacts and just how fast he is, he plays fast. Great play.
Empty backfield, throw to the far side. Olave makes the catch. And he's pushed out of bounds over there by Job. A 5-yard gain.
That's another guy that is playing so well. That's such a John Schneider special there. They picked him up last year right before the Falcons game. And Josh Job has done nothing but make plays, cover his man. I mean, he has just been a very underrated player, but he does his job every play.
3rd down and 4 at the Hawks 9. Kamara in the backfield. Throw to the goal line, knocked down. Intended for Olave on a slant route. The guy you were just talking about, Josh Job, gets a hand in there and slaps it down.
He's just been ridiculous. I mean, he was with Philadelphia. Why in the world would they let him go?
As good as he's playing, it's a surprise.
Look, I think they're definitely coaching him up here, and I just think there's a higher standard here in Mike McDonald's defense. But what a great find. And I remember when they picked him up, and it's like, who's this guy? And now, I mean, he is one of the better players and one of the better cover guys on this team.
Blake Groupie now for a 27-yard field goal attempt, and it's up and through. And the Saints finally find a way to sustain a drive and put some points on the board. 12:47 to play in the second quarter. Seattle on top, 21-3 on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't give a bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. we're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online check can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Pacific Office Automation is a proud sponsor of the Seahawks and the Northwest's #1 provider of office technology. Pacific Office Automation, problem solved. We get set for the Saints kicking the ball away. The Seahawks have run just 8 plays offensively and lead 21-3 in this one. Special teams have been outstanding. The Seahawks defense as well. Here we come with the kick. Young and Jacardia Wright are the deep men. Groupie tees it up at the 35. Gets away a line drive, end over end. It's going to be Derek Young at his own 3. Brings it up across the 10, 15-20, looks for some running room, 30. There he goes, 35-40, turns upfield, midfield, knocked out of bounds at the Saints' 40-yard line. We'll talk about that one in a second, but let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
96.1, 580 The Game, KTMT 580 AM, and K241CA 96.1 FM Ashland.
Jay Harbaugh, special teams coach, gets a raise this week. Holy smokes. A 60-yard kickoff return to go along with a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. Seattle 1st and 10 at the 38 of New Orleans. Holani now in the backfield. He gets the handoff, and he had a little bit of a gap for a second, but it closed up in a hurry. Pete Werner, the Ohio State product, outside linebacker, closed that down, and Holani picks up just a single yard.
I'll tell you, Pete Werner, and he's out of Ohio State, and he's really a good tackler, but we really haven't called his name that much just because the Seahawks doing a great job. But how about the special teams? Just like you mentioned, I mean, Derek Young on that play, just reading his blockers perfectly, and this is a huge advantage starting here.
Sam Darnold starts under center. Drops back 7, looks, throws a perfect pass, reaching out, diving, making the catch inside the 15-yard line. A.J. Barner. And it took every single bit of that 6'6" frame to reach out and dive to make that 23-yard reception. Seahawks in business at the Saints 14.
Great route and a great throw by Sam there. Just there was a dropper outside in the flat, pretty deep, and Barner runs his route just deep enough to get over the pass to go over the head of the defender there, and just perfectly delivered by Darnold.
Holani stays in the backfield. Darnold's going to look. He's going to throw the end zone. The ball is caught. Does he keep his feet in? Looking for the signal. Yes, he does. Touchdown, Seahawks. Horton with the catch in the corner of the end zone, and it was difficult to find the official. The rest of the offense runs to find Horton in the tunnel. Another 6. It's Horton's second score of the day, and another perfect pass by Sam Darnold.
Just amazing. Just amazes me how, I mean, that's a long ways. He must have thrown that ball a total of about 30 yards, and it was right on the money. The only place it could be, and you could see that Horton had to stretch his hands out just about his arms as far as he could, and able to get his feet down as well.
Jason Myers, PAT, up and good. Saints put 3 on the board. The Seahawks answer right back. 11:18 to play here in this first half. Seattle over the Saints, 28-3.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
At BECU, we're proud members of the 12s community. Jersey casual dress code on Blue Fridays, hoarse voices on Monday mornings, and flying that 12 flag every day of the week. We know how much the 12s love to show their pride, because we do too. That's why we give our members a chance to show their Seahawks pride with every purchase. So join us and get the Seahawks Debit MasterCard from BECU, the official debit card of the Seattle Seahawks. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
We live for the jaw droppers.
Gets hit in the backfield and drops. Guess who? Witherspoon.
The deep balls sent sky high.
Gonna throw right down the seam. Touchdown, Seahawks!
Big moments that throw you out of your seat.
And it's intercepted. Richard Sherman with a leaping interception.
Questioning the laws of physics and worthy of the celebration. Celebrating 50 seasons of Seahawks football. Visit Seahawks.com/tickets today.
The scoring drive recap brought to you by the Chevy Equinox. From the sporty RS to the adventurous active trim and even an EV. Equinox is where Northwest adventures begin. A 3-play, 38-yard drive, just a $1.29 off the clock. All set up by the 60-yard Derek Young kickoff return. Horton, a tiptoe, 14-yard touchdown catch in the corner of the end zone. And Seattle now leads 28-3. And we've got 11:18 to play here in this second quarter. Miller and Jones, the deep men for the Saints.
It's also a beautiful throw and catch to Barney there.
Oh,
he really did a
absolutely.
great job.
A.J. Barnum kind of gloss over that one.
Yeah.
Just a terrific stretching out, diving to make that reception.
I know. When he made that catch, I was like, that looked like a receiver. And then gets up and he's got a tight end number on. He's got receiver hands, though, for sure. Also seeing him in that kind of tush-push thing. We're going to try to call that the barnyard, I think.
Yes, I know John Schneider, I mentioned that to him in pregame, and he especially since you said it, he thought it was a good idea.
Okay. It has his approval. That's good.
A line drive kick comes to Miller at his 4. Up the left side numbers to the 10, 15, 20. Skips out of one tackle. Out across the 25. Let's go to the sidelines and Jen.
Mike McDonald wants to make sure his defense stays on the aggressive, coming over and talking to the entire bench, saying, look, what we're seeing is a lot of stuff late in the down. We're seeing Spencer Rattler extend those plays. The shovel pass to Kamara that just kind of got the yards. Make sure that you don't let up. He wants to make sure that they stay on the attack here despite the score.
Yeah, just ask the Rams about staying on the attack. They were up by 19 over Philly earlier today and lost the game, happily.
That's a shame.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from his own 29. Handoff to the far side is Miller. He's not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Well, maybe he did, but just barely. The Seahawks, you tell me, Dave, somebody stretched that play out all the way to the sidelines, and it looked like Job came over to help make the tackle.
Tyrese Knight did a great job, and they line him up outside every once in a while. I've seen that a number of times. I'll tell you what, Steve, he was smoking people last week against Pittsburgh. Tyrese Knight has just been an incredible, his trajectory is just straight up. He is doing such a great job and very physical.
Blitz is coming on 2nd down and 10. Rattler scrambling. Now he dumps it off underneath. Ball is caught. Miller looks for running room. He doesn't find much. Got hit. Jones comes over to make the tackle. D. Hall, I think, was also partially involved in that. A 4-yard gain, and here come the Saints right back to the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and 6 from their own 32. Trip set left. 3 receivers. Single setback is Miller. And now, getting the call from the sidelines, Rattler comes to the line of scrimmage. Talks to his O-line, to his running back. Now he steps back into the shotgun. Has a tight end winged on the left. 3 receivers near side. Rattler looks left, has time, fires down the middle. Ball is tipped, almost intercepted. I mean, the Seahawks have had a chance to intercept more passes today than Saints have. Receivers get hands on it. And it was Kendrick again who knocked that ball down.
Okay, now we're not going to say that he dropped an interception on that one. He had to fully extend and to hit that ball. But look, he has an interception, and he has a couple of, that's 3 now, knockdowns. What a great job by him. And that was the guy they picked up off the Rams roster. So he's out there making plays.
Kroger back on to punt again. Horton deep again. Let's see if he tries to kick it away from him. High, he tries to, but Horton gets under it, back at his own 14. Gets a block, turns upfield, picks up another block, and is pushed out of bounds on the far sideline. Walks by, says hi to a couple of Saints, heads back across the field. 9:34 to play here in this first half. Seattle up 28-3.
For years, everyone thought Verizon had the best network, because they did. But now the best mobile network in the U.S. is T-Mobile. T-Mobile's network has the most advanced 5G, with more towers, and their signal reaches further than ever. So you can text and Insta-talk and say, "You won't believe where I am."
T-Mobile has the best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. See T-Mobile.com/network.
For the Seahawks, growth is a team effort. Coaches maximize your performance. Teammates push your limits. But in business, who's there to help you grow? Lumen, that's who. Like saving game day broadcasts from lag time, connecting 60,000 plus live fans at the stadium, delivering benefits of the cloud for your network, secure as a defensive line, legendary as the fans that cheer them on. Welcome to the on-demand network that meets your demands. Learn more at lumen.com. Services not available everywhere.
Around the NFL with Curtis Rogers.
Afternoon slate. Chargers hosting the Broncos. They're up 3-0. 5 minutes to play in the first half. Cowboys and Bears. Chicago dialing up the trick play. Caleb Williams and Luther Burden on the 65-yard flea flicker.
To hear the Bears, a little flip to Swift, trying to get a flea flicker. It's way up there. Williams recovers, throws a seed, has a man. It is caught for a touchdown. Luther Burden's first in the league.
That touchdown has the Bears up 14-6 on the Cowboys. Second quarter just underway. Falcons and Panthers. The Apple Cup was yesterday, but Wazoo alum Chow Smith-Wade got some revenge on Falcons quarterback and Husky great Michael Penix.
Penix with time is intercepted.
That's completely on Penix. 100%.
Shaw Smith-Wade takes it in.
Panthers shut out the Falcons today 30-0. We go back to our guys at Lumen Field. Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman.
All right, Curtis, thanks very much. Here we have the Seahawks on top by 25 here in the second quarter. And absolutely no reason, and I'm sure as Jen mentioned, that's what Mike McDonald is saying up and down those sidelines. Do not take your foot off the gas pedal, because at any point any team can come back. So keep making plays, and the Seahawks have done that just about every way possible. Offense, defense, special teams.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to Saints radio with Bobby Hebert, and he was asking me about the special teams and how good they are, and you know the job that they've done. And Jay Harbaugh has just totally paid attention to every last detail in coaching this team.
Ken Walker III in the backfield, play fake to him on first down. Sam has time. Now he's going to let one fly down the middle of the field. It's right between 3 defenders, and JSN makes the catch. But a flag is down, and this might go against the Saints. The Seahawks are all headed to where the play ended.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 92. That penalty is enforced from the end of the run. It's an automatic first down.
Godshaw with the penalty.
How do you not stay deep as the deepest versus JSN? Have you not looked at the film?
Did you see this drop in the bucket right here with 3 defenders in the neighborhood? And nobody saw the ball as they tack on some yardage onto that 45-yard reception by Jackson Smith and Jigba. And the Seahawks, once again, deep in Saints territory, knocking at the door. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line on another big play. I-backs as Sam goes under center. First down. Wide outs to both sides. Handoff in the backfield to Ken Walker III. He's going to get a couple. going off his right guard. Let's go to the sidelines and Jen.
We were talking to Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator this week, and asking if JSN reminds him of any player in the league, past or present, and he came up with a surprising one, guys. He said Andre Johnson, who played for the Houston Texans while his dad was the head coach there. And Kubiak said, yeah, I know the stature isn't quite the same, but the fact that he is a quiet worker and an elite teammate, that is what sets him apart.
Boy, Andre Johnson, he reminds you, DK was the closest I can remember that kind of physique on a wide receiver. 2nd down and 7 at the 13, play fake. Darnold's going to roll right side. He's got room in front. He's going to dump it underneath. Ball is caught. It's a first down, and still pushing the pile down to the 1-yard line. It's a 12-yard gain, and still trying to see the exact last person. It was Saubert. It's tough to see who the receiver was because he got wrapped up and then wrapped up by a bunch of defenders on the Saints. It was Eric Saubert.
I love that decision by Sam Darnold because he had crossers. It was a rollout, and he kind of, didn't try to be a hero and throw it to the end zone. He threw it to sort of the safety valve, which was Saubert on the backside.
1st and goal from the 1. 2 tight ends in the game. I backfield. K9 gets the handoff, and he is going to get in. Touchdown, Seahawks. Ken Walker III from a yard out. His 2nd touchdown of the day. Set up by a couple of beautiful passes from Sam Darnold. And this Seahawks team right now is firing on all cylinders. 34-3 right now with 7:42 to play in the second quarter.
That looks like Granderson got oozed on that one. Our fullback leading the way there, but just physical, punishing. I know that Mike McDonald loves that. That's what really is standing out about this offense right now is the physicality. And it was the same thing last week in Pittsburgh. I think that's their identity.
Jason Myers, tack on the point after. We've got 7:42 to play here in this second quarter. And the Seahawks are already up 35-3. And again, I'm not sure what you do if you're Kellen Moore, a first-year head coach on the far sideline, nor do I care, because what's more important is what's going on the near sideline. Say 12s, get ready for game day with the official Seahawks podcast network. Michael Bumpus and executive producer Nasa Chobe have you covered with Hawk Talk twice a week. Dive into key matchups and everything about the Seahawks' next opponent. You can watch on YouTube via the Seahawks official channel. You can also listen to episodes on Seahawks.com/podcast and subscribe to Seahawks podcasts on SiriusXM, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and now available on Apple CarPlay. A 3-play, 75-yard drive. Just 1:02 off the clock, and JSN with a 45-yard reception as a part of that. Ken Walker punches it in from a yard out. We've got a 35-3 game in favor of the Hawks.
I like listening to that Hawk Talk podcast with our guy NASA Chobe and Michael Bumpus. I love having NASA here in the booth. Every once in a while I'll turn around and go, did I just see that right?
Myers to kick away again. Miller and Jones, who've had a lot of work today. It's Miller at his 4, up the left side to 15-20 at the 25. Wrapped up and dropped there, nearest the Saints bench. And so here comes the offense again for New Orleans. A franchise record now for the Seahawks in the first half, 45 points versus Minnesota back in 2002. So we're approaching it with 35 right now, 10 away from a first half record for the Seahawks if they can continue on this path. Shotgun snap, handoff to Kamara, goes right side and slides down before he took too hard a shot. Knocked off his feet for a 4-yard gain. Saints are coming back to the line of scrimmage. Well, actually, they're going to huddle up briefly. No, now they're going to go back to the line. Rattler looking at a 2nd down and 6 from his own 29. Kamara stays in the game with slots to both sides, and he gets the draw, handoff straight ahead. And he's going to power across the 35 for a first down. He took quite a shot as he hit the ground, but he picked up 8 and a first down.
Once again, Kobe Bryant just making tackles all over the field. And like I said, every once in a while you see him just explode and think, man, is that Devin Witherspoon? No, man, Kobe.
Quick throw into the near side flat to Olave. Hit by one Seahawk, chased out of bounds by another. It was Woolen. We haven't called Reek Woolen's name at all. He stayed out of his territory altogether as Olave picks up a couple. Clock continues to move, coming up on 6.5 to play here in the first half. 2nd down and 8 at the Saints 39. 3 receivers right side this time with a tight slot, empty backfield. Movement up front. That's going to be another false start penalty against the Saints.
Offense, 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Rookie Kelvin Banks with another, and that's his second, I think, second or third of the 4th false start penalty on the Saints.
Well, it's his welcome to the NFL moment.
You know,
or moments.
You can tell a rookie, you just can't tell him much. Thank you, Mr. Largent. 2nd down and 13. Kamara stays in the backfield. Shotgun snap to Rattler. Steps up, looks, fires down the middle. Ball is caught. Nice catch by Shaheed because he got blasted just as soon as he touched it. And a throw down across the middle, gained 15 yards and a first down.
Yeah, I saw Drake Thomas kind of pat his chest. He needs to get a little bit deeper there, and he realized that. And I'm guessing that won't happen again.
Handoff, straight ahead. Kamara doesn't get much across midfield, maybe a couple, as the Saints are getting to the line of scrimmage in a hurry, trying to catch the Seahawks defense off guard. So far today, a 35-3 score says they haven't.
Leonard Williams just picked up a 300-pound man and drove him into the turf.
Rattler, empty backfield, 3 receivers to his right. Comes back and throws near side. Olave makes the catch. Tries to get away from Ty Okada, but he can't. He's tackled just outside the 45-yard line, or just inside the 45-yard line of the Hawks for a 5-yard gain. 3rd down now and about 3.5. Kamara in the game. Lines up next to Rattler in the backfield. In the shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the right side. 3 of 8 on 3rd downs are the Saints. Quick throw far side. Olave makes the catch. He's tripped up, but he fights his way through. And I think picks up the first down as Jones makes the tackle. Was it Kobe Bryant who had the shot at him and just couldn't get enough on that tackle?
Well, and he's cursing himself right now, but I don't know. I mean, I think when you have open space like that, there's some value to having somebody take a shot there. Take a shot, and it'll redirect him, which it did. And, you know, sometimes you make that tackle, and usually Kobe does, and that's why he was mad at himself.
Under center goes Rattler on 1st and 10 at the Seattle 41. Kamara stays in the backfield, gets the handoff. And he just runs into number 99, and he gets thrown back on his wallet. Leo Williams jumps up, bench presses the world.
Oh, my God.
And holds Kamara to a 1-yard gain.
And he was double-teamed on that play. He split the double team and then reached through and picked up the running back.
Play fake this time to Kamara on 2nd down. Flag is down. Rattler's going to let it fly for the end zone. The ball is tipped away by Okada, intended for Olave in the back of the end zone. Olave thinks there was an interference should be called. It wasn't.
That was great coverage.
But there is a call against the Saints at the line of scrimmage. Our referee is Alex Moore.
Illegal shift, offense number 12. That penalty 6 line. 3rd down.
Another penalty on the Saints offense. Going to back them up. And no, the Seahawks are going to decline that penalty and make it 3rd down. 3rd and 9 at the Seattle 40. Spencer Rattler's best receiver, Chris Olave, after that deep route and the penalty, which was declined, has to head to the sidelines. So let's see what the Seahawks dial up on defense. Miller is in. Kamara is out. Saints 4 of 9 on 3rd down. Here comes the blitz. Throw back inside. Ball is caught short of the first down. Okada makes the tackle. The receiver was Brandon Cooks, the veteran wide receiver, and Kellen Moore says, all right, let's send the kicker out there to see if we can put 3 more on the board.
Do we have a blocked field goal yet?
No, but one's coming. I just have a feeling.
just filling out my bingo card over here.
By the way, Blake Groupie, the kicker, we were watching him from down on the field from just about here. This point of the field, it's a 52-yarder. Missed 2 or 3 of them in a row. This off the right hash mark. Kroger, the punter, is holding. The kick is away. It just has enough, but it's no good. He missed another one. Missed him in pregame and missed that one. So the Seahawks defense holds, and with 2:48 to play here in this first half, the Seahawks can feel good about themselves, but they won't. They lead 35-3, and you just, on any team in this league, Dave, you just can't put too many points up on the board. Seahawks football brought to you by Groundworks. If you have water in your basement or cracks in your walls, and we know how painful that all can be, the name to know is Groundworks, proud presenter of the Seahawks Corgi Cup, which we all know and love.
You know, I'm not wishing ill on Kellen Moore or anything, but I would like to point out that there was never a game like this for Mike McDonald last year.
And it's the youngest coach in the National Football League. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of Keystone Cops for the Saints right now. And, you know, Mike just very squared away. And now that he's got his, 1 year under. So I'm sure, my point is, I'm sure Kellen Moore next year will be much wiser.
K9 in the backfield. He's going to get the handoff, starts left, gets hit at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And that Warner guy, among others, comes up to help make that stop. You're right. He's not very big as a linebacker out of Ohio State, but he's a good tackler, so he makes that play. The Seahawks trail in offensive plays in this game. The Saints have run 40 plays, the Seahawks just 16, and the Seahawks have a 32-point lead on New Orleans right now. 2nd down and 10 from his own 42. Darnold goes out of the shotgun. He's got a slot to his right side. Saints look like they want to blitz. And they do. Sam, look out. He's got to scramble to his left. Now throws back inside. Ball is caught. Coming across midfield, getting knocked off his feet. They may spot it just a bit short, but that's Horton, the rookie, for a 9-yard gain. We're going to pause here for the 2-minute warning. Seahawks are going to be looking at a 3rd and 1 when we come back. Seattle all over the Saints, 35-3 on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Coming up on the Seahawks halftime report, Michael Bumpus, Paul Moyer, Ray Roberts going to break down this first half. They got a lot to talk about. And view the second half. One of those guys said the Seahawks are going to score over 30 today. You were right, and it's not even halftime. Seattle 0 for 1 on third down. It's 3rd down and 1, and A.J. Barner is going to go under center for the barnyard, and he gets it. But a flag is down on the far side. So let's see, was somebody in the neutral zone? Or maybe started early. Let's see. Barner jumps up and signals first down.
Yeah, somebody.
That going to be offsides on the Saints.
Offside. Defense number 40 lined up in the neutral zone. A 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So it was the guy who was just activated off the practice squad, Fadil Diggs, a rookie out of Syracuse, lined up in the neutral zone.
You talked to John before. Did he tell you anything about how do we get Barner? How do we get a tight end underneath the center?
He didn't tell me that, but
wonder if maybe he was a quarterback at one point. Why A.J. Barner?
Well, first of all, he's a big body.
Yeah.
So he can fall forward and pick up about 2 yards just by falling over. So that might be part of it.
Curious how they came about that.
1st and 10 out of the shotgun is Sam Darnold. He's going to hand the ball off to K9. Makes a man miss. A flag is down behind the play as Ken Walker is down to the 30-yard line, but this one might be coming back.
Holding, offense number 61, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
It's going to be on Jalen Sundell. That's only the second penalty on the Hawks today. And Sundell has been just remarkable at center this season. In fact, scared us a little bit last week in Pittsburgh on that very hot day. He went out of the game, ended up being cramps, but here he is back again at his starting spot.
That's a shame, too, because K9, that cut right there that he made was as good as I've ever seen him. I mean, he looks like he's starting to get warm. You know, we talk about divvying up the carries between the running backs, but I think K9 right now has the right amount. He's in the zone right now.
1st and 20. K9 gets the ball, goes left side this time, gets tripped and dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
Not much there.
No, Nathan Shepard runs out there to make the tackle, and a timeout is called by the Saints. Shepard, by the way, was the guy who supposedly was held by Jalen Sundell, and he wins an Emmy Award for the best performance by a supporting actor.
Yeah.
So let's go down to the sidelines. And Jen, with a little more on the barnyard, Jen.
Yeah, I was talking to Jalen Sundell about that this week, and we talked to AJ about it following the game in Pittsburgh, and he said, yeah, I do spend some time practicing it. Not a lot, but really it comes down to ball security. And from Sundell's point of view, he said, look, I can only snap the ball one way. It really is just a good feel for the play by Barner, and honestly a willingness to stick his nose right over the line of scrimmage.
As he has done now several times. Here's a 2nd down and long throw out to the near sideline. It's caught. Stepping out of bounds is Jackson Smith and Jigba. He has now passed Corin Robinson for 4th place for the most receptions in a player's first 3 seasons in franchise history with 184. Congratulations. More records are going to fall for him. 3rd down and 14 now after that reception on the near sideline. JSN 4 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown. Ball is at the Saints 47. Slots to both sides. Empty backfield. Arnold out of the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Throw on a crossing route inside. Horton makes the catch, but he's hit immediately and driven back and thrown down.
Oh, you got Cooper Kupp, you got JSN, and now you got Horton. Who do you cover? And this receiver group is so good, and a lot of it because of Sam Darnold and how accurate he is.
That's a 9-yard pickup. Timeout is called. It's the 2nd timeout used by the Saints, and the Seahawks are looking at a 4th down and 5.
My favorite JSN moment is when in the production meeting I asked him, can you believe this guy sitting next to me used to play receiver? That was one of my favorite moments.
Yes, I remember that. And he looked at me and said, no, not really. And I thought, okay.
You're like, I like this kid.
I did right away. Here's a 56-yard field goal attempt on 4th and 5. Myers will do the kicking. Dixon will spot it. It's off the right hash mark. Chris Stoll is the snapper. Perfect snap. Spot is down. Kick is going to be long enough. Jason Myers is money again. 1:29 to play in this first half, and the Seahawks have just added to their lead. The Saints come in having lost 2 games, both at home, one by 7 and one by 5 points. And here they are getting shellacked in Seattle, 38 now to 3 after that 56-yard field goal.
Well, and I got to imagine that, when they go into halftime, just like you said earlier, Steve, it's going to be, the speech is going to be, don't let up. And let's be professionals, because that's the difference. And, we talk about teams that overlook another team. That doesn't happen in the NFL, nor should it. And I think Mike McDonald coach teams are going to respond well. So I would expect more of the same in the second half from this Mike McDonald team.
Yeah, we could see a bunch of game records fall in the second half. 6-play drive, by the way, 20 yards, 1:20 off the clock, and Myers with a 56-yard field goal makes it a 38-3 score. Sam Darnold now in the first half, 10 of 11 for 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Right now, he's got a perfect 158.3 quarterback rating. Here's the kick, and it's Miller at his 5 across the 20 end, getting tripped up and knocked off his feet. And I mean really knocked off his feet. Drake Thomas is the first man down there, and this guy just throws his body around, and other bodies start to fly.
Yeah, he just takes it very seriously. He's an inside linebacker, and you see him in there with the starting defense every once in a while. But this is how you make a team. And you look at, kickoff return as far as their opponents going forward. Everybody's going to be saying, hey, we got to get some pads on number 42.
Rattler takes the shotgun snap. Now he's got to step up. He's going to scramble. First time we've really seen him scramble forward as he gets just across the 30-yard line for a 5-yard gain. Clock continues to move now, coming up on 1:10 to play in this first half. Saints still have a timeout. 4 receivers across the board. 4-man rush by the Hawks. The throw outside. Ball is caught by Juwan Johnson, the tight end, and he tiptoes on the sidelines. A late flag comes in. And so here comes Alex Moore, our referee. It's a 6-yard gain and a first down if it stands, but let's see what this flag is all about. Looks like it's going to go against the Hawks. We got no indication yet.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 99. A 15-yard penalty is added on from the end of the play, and it's an automatic first down.
Yeah, we had that similar call with him a couple of weeks ago. I feel like he just blows people up, maybe on accident. He's so big and strong, but, he's not that kind of a player. He's not a dirty player, so I don't know.
No, Leo Williams is anything but a dirty player. Yeah. But the penalty gets called on Big Cat. That's the 3rd Seahawks penalty, and it adds 15 to the play. So Saints now 1st and 10 at the Seattle 48. Rattler takes a shotgun snap, throws a quick slant far side. It's caught right at the 40-yard line by the Saints. Shaheed, an 8-yard gain. Clock continues to move. 2nd down and 2, 45 seconds to play. Slots to both sides. Rattler again from the shotgun, throws a crossing route. It's incomplete. Ball gets thrown behind the receiver, and there's a flag on the far sideline. Let's see what this is.
Use of hands to the face, defense number 29. This is a 5-yard penalty and includes an automatic first down.
So a couple of penalties here on the Seahawks defense is about the only way the Saints have been able to sustain a drive. That on Josh Jobe with hands to the face. And sometimes when you're playing up, Dave, close to the line of scrimmage like that, you try to get your hands on the receiver, and sometimes your hands slide up.
Yep. Yeah, so it's not any kind of lack of focus or anything there. That's just something that happens occasionally.
1st and 10 at the Seattle 35. Rattler looks, fires inside. Ball is caught by Brandon Cooks. He bobbled it as he was sliding down, but he makes the catch right on the 30. Clock continues to move now. 26 seconds. Saints right back to the line of scrimmage after that 5-yard gain. Again, Kamara in the backfield, slots to both sides. Rattler breaks free, scrambling to the far sideline. A flag is down deep in the secondary. Now let's see what this is all about. Looks like it's going to go against the Hawks. Another play. a holding call.
Holding, defense number 29. This 5-yard penalty is added on to the end of the run and includes an automatic first down.
Wow, a couple of penalties now in this drive on Josh Jobe, who's been absolutely stellar in this game so far. That's the 5th penalty against the Hawks in this game, the 3rd in this drive. 1st and 10, Saints at the Seattle 20. 13 seconds left and 1 timeout for the Saints. Kamara in the backfield. Rattler going to scramble left side, being chased. Fires downfield, ball is caught right on the sideline. Stepping out of bounds is Rashid Shaheed. That's going to stop the clock with 3 seconds left. Let's see if the Saints are going to go for the end zone here, or they're going to try to kick a field goal. It was a 14-yard gain, and the offense stays on the field as the clock stops.
Final team timeout, New Orleans. It will be 30 seconds.
Now they use that final timeout.
Yeah, I saw Mike McDonald down there before that last play, just telling everybody, get back. So put their heels on the goal line, and receiver, actually, Shaheed ran a really nice little comeback route and a good throw by Spencer Rattler. He's a good quarterback. But it's just been, they have not been able to get their offense going in any kind of rhythm.
And now here at the last second, Kellen Moore is going to send that field goal team on. Groupie has missed one today from 56. He also made one from 27. This is going to be from 23 off the left hash mark. Twelves are making lots of noise, as you can hear. There's the kick, and it's a chip shot for Groupie. It's through. And that is the end of the first half. Clock says zeros in this first half. The scoreboard says anything but. Seahawks are going to get the ball, remember, to start the second half, and they head to the locker room with a 38-6 lead. Stay tuned. Seahawks halftime report with Bump, Paul Moyer, Ray Roberts, all coming your way. Can't wait to hear what they have to say about this. This has been a terrific first half of football for Seattle. We'll see you after the half.
Welcome to the Seahawks Halftime Report. Now, here's your host, Michael Bumpus.
Along with Big Ray and Paul Moyer, this is the halftime show. I'm Michael Bumpus. The score 38-6. It's halftime. That's not the final score. 38-6. Okay, things are going for this offense and defense. I'll let you guys analyze that. Let me hit you with some fun facts for you. All right, 3rd most points in franchise history at halftime. Horton, that's the longest punt return for a touchdown in franchise history, 95. And JSN is 6 yards away from having 3 consecutive 100-yard games, which would tie DK Metcalf for the franchise record. Paul, the floor is yours.
Well, Sam Darnold's got a perfect quarterback rating. But look, if I'm Coach McDonough, I'm ripping their butts at halftime. First of all, only 20 plays on offense. You only had 7 minutes time of possession, like 8 yards rushing. You didn't convert a third down. Special teams were special. I mean, that's bottom line. I mean, special teams, you get a punt return 95 yards, you block one, you almost take that into the house. You have a 60-yard return, you have a couple big hits on the kickoff team. Fantastic. Sam Darnold looks like the real deal, you guys. I mean, so what other negative? We've had 8 yards rushing. Guess what? New Orleans said, we're going to stop your run. They're bringing down their safeties. And Kubiak and Darnold said, fine, we're going to go over the top of you. Had some great bootlegs, some great play actions. We only threw the ball 11 times, but we burned them when we threw it for the 10 completions.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things that you have to keep in perspective is that the
Sam Darnold 10 for 11. Run game hasn't been there, but you still got 2 rushing touchdowns, though. You know, like, okay, run game hasn't been there, but when it's time to punch it in, you're still able to hand the ball off to K9 and punch it in.
Yeah, we had 9 attempts, I believe, only 8 yards. But, you know, there was one point we had 54 yards and we had 21 points. So we didn't have to do much on offense, obviously. And the where they had to go wasn't very far either because they were getting in the plus territory. I don't know. I mean, I'm watching. First First of all, is it Breesby? He's a load. I mean, he's a load in there. I mean, he's tall. He takes up a lot of space. Our one good run they called holding on, actually it wasn't holding. It just the guy flopped on it. It's too bad. Here's what we're going to find out. We're going to run the ball the second half.
Yeah.
You're up 38-6. We're probably not going to throw it a whole bunch, but I know one thing. Torrey Horton, he's going to be on a lot of fantasy football teams starting next week.
Yeah, I was trying to say there, I do agree with you, Paul. I do think they're stacking the line of scrimmage to stop the run. So it's given, I think they said it, if Sam Darnold can beat us, they can live with that. So I feel like that's what they went for. But I think when you have that many guys around the line of scrimmage, you probably need to get away from the stretch stuff and do more misdirection, more pin and pull. Because then if you can get a guard can trap a tackle, there's no other layer past that, to defend. So you have a lot of space to run the football. So hopefully they'll work on some things in the second half. But I wouldn't be too discouraged that the running game isn't working, only because they're trying to take that away from them.
All right, we got more analysis. When we return, the Seahawks are up 38-6.
Hey, Seahawks fans, this is Steve Rabel for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. Coaching a winning team requires planning ahead and keeping all your players healthy. Virginia Mason Franciscan Health's primary care providers help you coordinate your family's care, including annual physicals, screenings, and immunizations. So keep your home team healthy. Find a provider and schedule an online appointment today at vmfh.org/Seahawks. vmfh.org/Seahawks.
For years, everyone thought Verizon had the best network, because they did. But now the best mobile network in the U.S. is T-Mobile. T-Mobile's network has the most advanced 5G, with more towers, and their signal reaches further than ever. So you can text and Insta-talk and say, "You won't believe where I am."
T-Mobile has the best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data 1H 2025. See T-Mobile.com/network.
Listen up, Seahawks fans. Shop and Score sweepstakes is back at Safeway. Shop, score, and enter for a chance to win a 2025 Toyota Tacoma, VIP game experiences, groceries for a year, and more. Just buy 5 participating items in a single transaction to enter for a chance to win. Safeway has all your game day tailgate favorites, from fried chicken to fresh cut fruit and vegetable trays, and tons of easy meal options. Save time and shop online at Safeway.com. Safeway, the official supermarket of the Seahawks. Hey, Seattle Seahawks fans, ready for some football? But what happens when life tackles you too hard? Accidents can happen on and off the field. When they do, you need a strong team on your side. CZ Accident Attorneys are proud sponsors of the Seattle Seahawks and even prouder of our winning record in personal injury cases. At CZ, they make personal injury claims easy. Don't let an injury sideline your life. Call CZ Accident Attorneys today and get the justice you deserve.
Welcome back to the Seahawks halftime show. The Corgi races are going down, and the race is going down too. There's a race with the offense out there doing their thing, and it's been impressive so far. Sam Darnold, 10 for 11, 169, 2 touchdowns. Ken Walker, 8 carries for 7 yards, but he does have 2 touchdowns. George Halani, 1 carry for 1 yard. Jason, 6 yards away from his 3rd consecutive 100-yard game that would tie franchise record. He has 4 for 94 and a touchdown. Horton has 3 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown. Also has a punt return for a touchdown. Josh Jobe having himself a good game as well. He has 9 tackles. Ty Okada has 6 tackles. Drake Thomas has 5 tackles. The halftime stats are brought to you by Lumen, the trusted network for AI. The stay ready so you ain't got to get ready squad. Making some plays today.
They are. Look, we had 4 passes defense. One of them, though, was actually even got called back because they called the legal hit or bump downfield on Jobe. Jobe, they got to resign the guy. They got to extend him now. I mean, he's legit. He's becoming a playmaker. He's athletic. He's a smart guy. He's tough. 9 tackles, and he's getting his hands all over the ball. Yeah. You mentioned Sam Darnold. He's got a perfect quarterback rating of 158.3. We're averaging 15.4 yards per pass right now. So I think the team is starting to find an identity. You want to stop our run, we'll hurt you over the top. And the protection rate's been pretty good. Yeah, the protection has been really good. And then Sam Darnold, when he's had to move around in the pocket, he's been able to do that. The thing I'd just like to see on defense, I thought that they would get more after the quarterback, considering that they were starting a rookie guard and a guard playing right tackle, I think it was. So I'd like to see the defensive line get after it a little bit more in the second half. And then
like you said, on offense, I think they're probably going to run the ball more, not throw it as much. But I hope they can work something out in the running game just to get a rhythm in it.
How about DeAnthony Bell as well? Yeah. Blocking that punt there, having a tackle on specials. Jareek Young having a big return. It feels like the most complete half of football I've seen in a long time from this squad.
Well, Chaz, and guys, I'm sorry, I can't remember his last name. Number 44, that's how bad I am right now. Surratt, the guy, he almost picked up the one for a touchdown.
Yeah.
He makes the big block on the punt return, just annihilates their kicker. And then the next kickoff, he lays the guy out. So you're right. I mean, unsung heroes right now. We'll have a bunch of those in the post-game show.
All right, so what do you do? What at halftime, Big Ray? What's your message? I know you talked about trying to get the run game going, but I'm sure they're looking at Coach and be like, Coach, it's 38-6 right now.
Right,
man.
right.
What's the talk like?
Well, I think it's going to be hard to kind of keep the energy up, so I think you got to do that because a lot of times when you have a lead like this and you let down, that's when injuries happen because you kind of slow down. They're still going hard. So I think you got to get them to keep playing with that type of emotion, intensity. And then I think you do have to go like, if this is a get-right game, let's get some things right. Let's get the running game going, get the pass rush going, maybe rotate a few guys in on defense to get a few reps with real bullets, that type of stuff.
Now, Bill Belichick never pulled guys from football games. If this does get out of hand, if these guys put up 45, 50 points, how do you handle the substitution?
No problem. I'm pulling them out. I'm not pulling everybody out, but I'm going to start spotting guys along the way. And, the quarterback, I'm probably leaving him in well into the fourth quarter because, it's just we need reps. But it reminded me of, what do you tell the guys? It reminds me of Bobby Knight when he was talking about Michael Jordan. It was during the Olympics, and he had 20 points at half. He had 10 assists. He had, 8 rebounds. And he said, Michael, you need to start screening better, and for these guys. You're not screening to get these other guys open, and it kind of reminds me of this. I mean, you played so well. There will be some emphasis. We got to do a better job on third down on defense. They were 4 for 10. We got to get a little bit better pass rush, even though we're rushing 4. I don't feel like it's bad pass rush. And then, for sure, we got to run the ball better.
All right, you heard it there. Little things. Do the little things correctly. When you return, you're the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman. That's next on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today. Here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray, cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I was in the hospital with my son for 18 months. When he got injured, I knew I had to be strong. I just remember rushing into his room and giving him a big hug and letting him know I was there.
These veterans and families are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. We build specially adapted custom homes with features like wheelchair access and automatic door openers that allow them to focus on their recovery and family.
This house is freedom.
It's hope. It's a new beginning.
Visit hfotusa.org.
Welcome back to Seahawks football. Now, with the second half kickoff, here's Steve Rabel.
Well, what do the Seahawks have in store for the second half? Put a 38-burger on the Saints here in this first half. We hope to see a lot of the same. Let's head down and find out what the coaches say. Here's Jen.
Well, it's exactly what you guys were talking about as they headed into the locker room. Mike McDonald wants to see that relentless attitude from his team. Yeah, he saw it in the first half, but he said it is still out there to prove that you can do that for an entire game. Need to make sure that that continues. Meanwhile, Kellen Moore said, look, there's nothing you can do about that first half. Go wipe that from your memory, start fresh, and you can expect to see them getting Spencer Rattler a little bit more looks at that up-tempo offense that allowed them to move the ball at the end of the first half. But Steve, they are also going to be kicking the ball to the Seahawks as Seattle deferred and will start here in the third quarter.
Well, we'll see what the Seahawks have in mind. The second half kickoff is brought to you by Seatown Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Get up to $600 off a new generator. Visit SeatownServices.com today.
Well, I guess they better hurry up if they want to catch up here.
Well, and it's not like the Seahawks offense has been running away with things. The Seahawks have scored in just about every way you can score. But, for instance, Ken Walker III, he's got 8 attempts at carrying the football and just 7 yards, but he's got 2 touchdowns. So the Seahawks, I would think, would love to see, okay, let's try to get this offense, especially the running game, kind of going, and let's speed up this second half.
Yeah, that's something we didn't see in that first game against San Francisco. It was kind of disappointing. We never really got a look at what Sam Darnold can do. And, and we've seen the toughness from last week, Steve, of taking some of those shots when he was delivering touchdowns. And then, this week he's kind of gotten to what this offense is all about.
Here is the kick. It's coming down to Derek Young at the goal line. He's out across the 10, 15, 20, 25, trying to spin out of a tackle. He does. Out across the 30, accelerates to the 35. Just when you think he's wrapped up and going to go down on the ground, big, strong, wide receiver fights his way out for another 5 yards, and Sam Darnold and company will start 1st and 10.
You can't undersell how valuable that is. That field position right there, almost, you're at the 35-yard line. I mean, that's premium right there. And you see Derek Young breaking a couple of tackles to get there.
Ken Walker III starts this third quarter in the backfield with Oots, the fullback, in an offset eye. K9 gets the ball straight ahead. Stutter steps at the line, makes a man miss. He's got a first down on the first play of this third quarter. A 10-yard gain.
Boy.
At least now they're going to say he came up about. No, now they're going to say they're moving the sticks late. Right back to the line of scrimmage with the Hawks, 1st and 10. Play fake this time by Sam. Has time. Throws. Got a man wide open. It's Cooper Kupp. Kind of stumbles and is finally brought down at the 30-yard line. He tried to get those feet going and accelerating. And he spun some gravel and hits the deck. Finally is tackled but picks up 23 in the process.
Rabel, you know what the film room's like. He's going to get a hard time for that one.
Oh, yeah.
But really nice job running a route. He's such a great route runner. JSN as well. Those guys, they're able to find the exact middle of the zone, and I think that's maybe his best value. 1st
down and 10 from the 32 of the Saints. Handoff goes to K9. Flag is down late, deep in the secondary. I think we're going to get a hold on the defense. That's the signal, early signal.
Holding, defense number 93. This is a 5-yard penalty added on to the end of the run and includes an automatic first down.
Alex Moore, our referee, makes the call, and it's Nathan Shepard again. Another penalty on the Saints. That's like a basket full of them, the 9th on the day.
Well, a lot of times that is. Sorry, a lot of times that's because you're talking to the officials and say, hey, watch out for this, because you don't see defensive holding called very often.
Here's a toss sweep on a 1st and 10 to K9 on the left side. Turns the corner, first down, hits a man, gets knocked out of bounds. Another flag is down, this on the far sideline.
Holding, offense number 81, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
I'm going to call Eric Saubert on the hold. And that's too bad, because that was a terrific run. Really getting, as we talked about, Dave, the Seahawks wanted to come in here in the second half and try to get the running game going, and they had, as K9 turned upfield. Of course, one of the reasons, I guess, he was able to turn that corner was the hold by Saubert.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and just he's starting to get going. You never know what a guy's magic number is. Is it 6 carries? Is it 8 carries? And and I would hope that once we get into the season, it's going to be him and Charbonnet, possibly Helani a little bit as well, and just kind of a 1-2 punch. We saw that last year where every other time it seemed like Charbonnet, Ken Walker, back and forth.
Jalen Milroe keeps the ball. He's at quarterback. And he gets run down to the near sideline. It's going to be a short gain for the rookie out of Alabama, Jalen Milroe. We knew that he had a number of different plays in the playbook for him. And we're going to try to catch maybe the Saints off guard a little bit. They didn't.
Well, I love that they have him activated, and then this is going to give other teams a preparation problem, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to prepare for this guy, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with Jalen Milroe.
He picks up 3, so it's 2nd down and 17. Sam Darnold back in the game. K9 empties the backfield out to the right. They tried to set up a tight end screen to Barner on the right side, and it broke down pretty early. Some penetration there by the defense of the Saints. So Sam Darnold wisely just threw the ball in the ground at the feet of his tight end, A.J. Barner, and it brings up 3rd down and long now with the ball at the Saints' 32.
I think they got to get better at that. That's one play. We've seen a couple of screens get sniffed out, and I think it's just because you're giving it away. And it's a lot of it for the offensive line. You really got to sell that, hey, we're blocking and then release late, and that's a number of times now that they've had the screen shut down.
3rd and 17, the handoff. Walker, he breaks a tackle, coming to the near side, jumps over a man, and then gets hit in midair and knocked back for no gain. But it was like Skeets Nehemiah at the Olympics jumping over people. One of the players became a hurdle. Oh, it was Kool-Aid McKinstry who became the hurdle. Well, anybody named Kool-Aid, sometimes that stuff is going to happen to you, as he tried to undercut K9. Anyway, not much picked up. Here's a field goal attempt by Jason Myers. This one, a 51-yard try off the right hash mark. He's got one from 56 already today. Looks like one of the Saints was offsides. He was. The kick was blocked. But this is going to be a penalty on the Saints without question. Coming off the edge was Justin Reed.
Offside, defense number 21, 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
It's still going to be a 4th down and a long way to go. But another mess up on the special teams by the Saints. We had talked earlier about the Saints special teams coach perhaps getting a roadmap and an apple after this one and being told to find his way back to New Orleans.
They're going to tell him to Uber home. You're not on the team plane.
Now a 46-yard attempt from Jason Myers. Again off the right hash mark. Dixon is going to spot it. This kick is away. Plenty long enough. And it's good. Funny, when you don't jump off sides, you have a much better chance of making a field goal. 11:29 to play here in this 3rd quarter. Seattle extends its lead 41-6 over the Saints. You're listening to the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. At Children International, we know that the journey to end poverty for good begins first with a child. It starts with their first checkup, lesson, opportunity, job. That journey takes commitment from people like you and me to end poverty for good. Learn more at children.org.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
K-12 this football season, two premier Northwest franchises are teaming up, Columbia Bank and the Seattle Seahawks. Columbia Bank is a proud partner of the Seattle Seahawks, member FDIC. So a 7-play, 37-yard drive for the Seahawks to open that third quarter. 3:31 off the clock, and Myers with the 46-yard field goal makes it a 41-6 game. Seattle on top. Miller and Jones, the two deep men for the Saints, as they have been all afternoon long, and they have had a lot of chances to return kicks. Myers from his own 35, a line drive kick. It's caught by Miller at the 10, 15, 20. Heads to the left side, and he gets blasted and dropped short of the 25. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
96.1, 580 The Game, KTMT 580 AM, and K241CA 96.1 FM Ashland.
Saints will start at their own 24-yard line with 11:24 to play here in this third quarter, and down 41-6. Spencer Rattler continues on a quarterback, the youngster. Kamara in the backfield, single setback. He's going to get the ball, goes to the right side, finds a little running room, and then gets upended. Knight, one of those guys there.
Tyrese Knight, I don't know if you see at the end of that play, it's like he has exploding shoulder pads. Like when he hits people, they just kind of bounce off of him. He's got some pop.
A 4-yard gain by Kamara. Good running back, good receiver. He was averaging 180 yards in total scrimmage yards, both receiving and running, in the games he's played against the Seahawks. They've done a good job against him today. Here's a 2nd down and 6. Rattler looks to the left side. Now he dumps it over the middle. Incomplete. Ball intended for the tight end, Johnson. Good tight coverage on the play. Kobe Bryant knocks the ball away. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 6.
Really happy for Kobe. You know, I feel like he's one of those players that is underappreciated and kind of gets left behind as far as reps, and he's earned a spot out there. And just a really nice job there in zone coverage coming up and knocking that ball down.
Saints are 4 of 10 on 3rd downs. Kamara stays in the backfield. A tight trip set on the right. Now shifting over is Cooks. Rattler with a shotgun snap. He's going to scramble. He's going to go nowhere, because he's going to run right in to big number 91 Byron Murphy, who had a sack and a half a week ago in Pittsburgh. He's going to get credit for a sack today, the first one by the Seahawks defense. And Rattler, I think, thought he was going to run for a lot of yards, and then he looked up, and the sky was blotted out by a blue 91 jersey.
He is huge. And you look at, he just, again, he didn't get a lot of production last year. He was a first rounder. I think a lot of people expected it. But at that position, you don't really make a lot of sacks. And now all of a sudden, he's getting sacks right and left.
Here's Kroger with a high punt. Horton at his own 27. Starts up the middle. Now kicks it back out to the left side. Turns the corner. And he steps out of bounds. His forward motion, his momentum was carrying him to the sidelines. Couldn't quite get turned upfield. Steps out of bounds. Seahawks will start 1st and 10. When we come back, Seattle leading 41-6 on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
Today's game is presented by Delta. Enroll in Delta 12 status and earn 1 mile for every Seahawks passing yard this season. 12 status members also get priority boarding out of SeaTac Airport and a 12% discount at the Seahawks Pro Shop on the 12th of each month. Visit 12status.com to learn more. Darnold and company break the huddle 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. I-backs as Darnold goes under center. Wide outs to both sides. Here's a toss. Ken Walker III comes right side, drags a couple of defenders across the 40 to the 43-yard line for a 7-yard gain. That running game that we were hoping to see more of, Dave, starting to get rolling here a little bit with the Seahawks.
Yeah, Robbie Oots with the lead block there. And again, a lot of these young running backs haven't run with a fullback, and they love it. He's there to kind of clean up a little extra in case somebody misses a block.
2nd down and 3, handoff straight ahead. And tripping over either his own blocker or one of the defenders is Ken Walker III. Picked up a yard on it. He would have picked up more had he not been tripped up. Going to be 3rd down and 2 at the Seattle 43.
I'm sorry. Demario Davis just got ootsed. He got flat-backed by Robbie Oots. And that is a guy who is a trained killer. Demario Davis played 14 years in the league. Only missed 1 game, and he just got oozed.
3rd down and 2. Darnold from the shotgun. Now he puts JSN in motion back to the left side, who catches a swing pass out in the flat, and he's going to get the 1st down. He's going to push forward, I think. He needed to get right at the 45-yard line. It looks like he got there by the spot, and he did. 1st down for the Seahawks. Yes, you're talking about Demario Davis, the Pro Bowl outside linebacker, 36 years old. Davies missed 1 game, as you said, in 14 seasons. You were a linebacker. Can you even conceive of that?
I can't. Carlos Dansby was that way. Remember the linebacker for Arizona? Yep. I think he missed like 3 or 4 games. I mean, man, I think I missed more than I made.
Ken Walker stays in the backfield on 1st and 10. Play fake to him. Darnold hits his back foot, looks, dumps it underneath. K9 makes the catch. He's across midfield in Saints territory. He gets blasted, but not before he gets down to about the 42-yard line. Coming from that defensive front position, Jonathan Bullard to help make that tackle, but a 12-yard gain by K9.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kenneth Walker, you look at how fast his feet are. His brain works incredibly fast. I mean, the way he sets people up and cuts back, and, sometimes he just hits the gas, and he's just incredible once he gets going.
Darnold under center on 1st down and 10. Handoff straight ahead to Ken Walker. Goes between the guard and his rookie left guard. That'd be Gray Zabel, and the center.
Yeah, Gray Zabel is looking more and more like a pro. He is a rookie, and so I try not to expect too much, but as far as, he's a first rounder, and he just looks like he's gaining knowledge and, just settled in and doing a really good job.
He didn't get a lot of push that time. Ken picked up a yard, 2nd down and 9. Clock down to 6:50 to play here in this third quarter. Walker, the single setback now with a tight slot right side. Darnold under center. He's going to hand it off to Walker. He breaks free. He's going to get spun out of a tackle, and he fights his way. They never did get him on the ground. Fights all the way to the far sidelines in front of the Saints bench area, and there are a number of defenders who are saying, enough already. We've seen you. He just fought his way through about 4 tackles, picked up 10 yards, and the Seahawks first down.
Oh, and I think it was a point of pride that he didn't go down out of bounds. He wanted to stay on his feet on that one, and it's just incredible. He's like a cat. I mean, he always lands on his feet. Saw him try to hurdle a guy earlier.
It was Kool-Aid McKinstry who he tried to hurdle. That time, Kool-Aid tried to drag him down and couldn't. 1st and 10 at the Saints 32.
I think you like saying Kool-Aid.
I do a lot. Blitz is coming. Darnold has time. Fires down the middle. Back shoulder throw, and it's caught by Derek Young on a crossing route at the 20-yard line. You don't normally throw back shoulder, but Sam was under pressure. He slung that thing, and Derek Young reaches back and makes the catch for 12 yards and another Seattle first down.
Boy, I'll tell you what, if he doesn't throw that one back shoulder, he leads Derek Young into what we used to call a hospital ball.
Yeah.
Your quarterback leads you into a big hit, and he throws it behind him and took way less of a hit.
I-backs with Oots leading the way. K9 running the ball. He's going to get maybe a couple inside the 20 of the Saints. Yeah, they'll call it 2. 2nd down and 8 coming up. 5:20 to play in the game. The Seahawks now are doing just exactly what I know Mike McDonald wanted them to do, and that is just kind of take time off the clock. Oots comes out. Saubert goes in. Oots looks like he's either very bow-legged or he's got a little bit of a hitch in his giddy-up as he comes to the near sideline. Trainers are going to check that out. 2nd down and 9 at the Saints 19. Under center is Darnold. Play fake. He's going to roll left. He's going to look. He's going to fire. And incomplete. He had a man down near the goal line. That was Arroyo. He just couldn't get the ball to him as he got decked just as he was trying to throw the ball. Going to bring up 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, had all 3 tight ends out there in that formation.
If he can get a little more on that, he's got Arroyo for touchdown. Seattle 1 of 4 now on 3rd down.
I'll tell you, that play last week by Robbie Oots where he ran over both linebackers, you're seeing that everywhere now. I mean, it's become like famous in the NFL. I feel sorry for those linebackers.
Halani in the backfield with Darnold. Sam takes a shotgun snap, looks, throws far side, reaching out, no, just throws the ball a little off target as JSN tried to reach toward the sidelines to make that catch, couldn't stay in bounds to make it, and Sam Darnold kind of blaming himself a little bit for throwing that ball a little out of reach. It's going to bring up 4th down and another field goal attempt by Jason Myers, who's got a couple of them already today from 46 and 56. This one will be spotted at the 27, so it'll be a 37-yarder. There's still a sliver of sun on the Lumen Field surface, and the Seahawks are right in that for this field goal attempt. There's the snap, the spot, kick is away. And with Jason Myers, you almost don't have to look. Another good one. That's his 3rd on the day from 37. The Seahawks extend their lead by 3 more. 4:39 to play here in the 3rd. Seattle up 44-6.
Hey Seahawks fans, this is Steve Rabel for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. Everyone should know their blood pressure and cholesterol level. If they're too high, the risks of heart attack, stroke, and heart disease increase. That's why seeing your primary care physician is so important. Simple things like eating healthy, daily exercise, and quitting tobacco will give your heart the support it needs to keep you in the game. Talk with your doctor today and schedule your appointment at vmfh.org/Seahawks.
Listen up, Seahawks fans. Shop and Score Sweepstakes is back at Safeway. Shop, score, and enter for a chance to win a 2025 Toyota Tacoma, VIP game experiences, groceries for a year, and more. Just buy 5 participating items in a single transaction to enter for a chance to win. Safeway has all your game day tailgate favorites, from fried chicken to fresh-cut fruit and vegetable trays, and tons of easy meal options. Save time and shop online at Safeway.com. Safeway, the official supermarket of the Seahawks.
Football season is here, and it's time for 2 premier Northwest franchises to team up. Columbia Bank, your local bank, and the Seattle Seahawks. As the largest bank headquartered in the Northwest, Columbia Bank is the home team you can count on. Learn more about Columbia's premier service and innovative digital solutions at columbiabank.com or visit a local branch. Columbia Bank, proud partner of the Seattle Seahawks, member FDIC.
Every jersey tells a story.
So many people dressed in Seahawks blue.
From unforgettable touchdowns.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Jackson Smith-Njigba, Johnny on the spot.
To game-changing hits.
He gets hit again. Leonard Williams drags him down.
To memorable catches.
Zorn drops back to pass in the end zone to Largent. Touchdown Seahawks!
History lives in every thread. Shop official Seahawks jerseys in-store at Lumen Field, The Landing in Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/ProShop.
This is great. The 50th season garage sale presented by BECU and Offer Up is happening Thursday, October 2nd from 5 to 8 p.m. at Lumen Field's Olympic Hall. For one night only, shop exclusive Seahawks archive items like game-worn jerseys, autographed memorabilia, Super Bowl collectibles, and more. Entry is free, but RSVPs are required. Space is limited. Secure your spot now at Seahawks.com/garage sale.
I'm going to go with that and see if I can get a Steve Rabel jersey.
Yeah, well, that
Pick one up.
and $2 will get you a cup of coffee. That sounds like fun. Jason Miller to kick again. Miller and Jones, the deep end for the Saints. Here's a kick, a line drive kick, and it sails over the head of Miller, and he's going to down it in the end zone. As he touched it, we're going to head down to Jen on the sidelines.
The last time the Saints were on the field, it was Byron Murphy who had the sack that forced the punt, and it really is the perfect follow-up to his game in Pittsburgh. Leonard Williams saying this week that when you are an interior defensive lineman and you don't come up with those splash plays, even though your teammates see how hard you're working and compliment you, it's just really hard to feel as confident as you should be. But now you've got back-to-back weeks with the splash plays and showing up in the box score for Byron Murphy.
Jen, thanks very much. Ball is spotted at the 20 after hitting in the landing zone, but then being down in the end zone. So Spentler, Rattler and company with a toss coming near side. It's Miller. He's going to run to the left. He's going to get knocked out of bounds by Jobe on the near sideline in front of the Seahawks bench. I want to go back one more time to that drive for the Seahawks. 11 play, 46 yards. 5:12 off the clock, and the Jason Meyer 37-yard field goal. The best thing about all those numbers, Dave, the 5:12.
Yep.
Taking 5 minutes, 12 seconds off the clock, driving downfield. That's what you want to see. Run the football, take this clock down, let the Saints go home unhappy, which they're going to do anyway. 2nd down and 2 from the Saints 28. Here's a toss to Miller. He goes right side this time. Steps out of a tackle, gets pushed out of bounds. You can't tell if he made it to the far side. Now there's going to be a flag down. He got thrown out on the far side. This might be going against Seattle, but let's see. The officials are talking about it.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, defense number 13. The 15-yard penalty is added on to the end of the run.
We're going to call Ernest Jones for the late hit. I got a feeling when Mike looks at these penalties, especially what they're calling, now they're saying no foul for a late hit. He pretty much missed him, tried to push him away, tried to avoid everything. So good. Officials talked about it, and they got it right. And it brings up 3rd down and 2 at the Saints 28.
That's a tough one when you're, fighting and scrapping to get outside, and then, sometimes you start to leave your feet or lunge or whatever, and then all of a sudden guy's out of bounds. Glad they called that one off.
Kamara in the backfield. Rattler from the shotgun. A tight slot to the left side. Two receivers right. Rattler looks right. Throws into the deep teeth of the defense. And the ball is caught by the tight end, Juwan Johnson. I'm not sure how Rattler got it in there or how Johnson made the catch, but he did for 6 yards and a first down. Johnson is a 6-year veteran out of Oregon, but he was a former Penn State and Oregon wide receiver, now a tight end. So he's got really good hands.
What great coverage by Josh Jobe there.
1st and 10 from the 34, the handoff, and going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere is Kamara Jones, the inside backer, Ernest Jones, there for a 4-yard loss. That hasn't happened often to the Saints today.
Yeah, it looked like almost he was like on a blitz, Steve. And, and then just a great tackle. And, of course, big catch right there to help him out. But it was a tackle for loss.
2nd and 14 at the Saints 30. Rattler from the shotgun. Now Miller in the backfield. Rattler talking to his line. Now he shifts his running back over. Tight end starts in motion, comes back to the left. Long count by Rattler. Finally gets the snap. Here comes the blitz. Rattler steps up in the pocket. Rattler's going to go down. Rattler gets picked up and dropped, and now there's another flag. And they're going to say I got a feeling they're going to say that Rattler got picked up and
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 99. A 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
He just wrapped up the quarterback who was fighting to get free. And so another penalty gets called, and Mike McDonald saying, come on, guys, what are you talking about? He's making a play. He's making a tackle.
Well, Leonard Williams is back there in the Saints huddle talking to the official about, I'm sure he's asking him, what do you want me to do?
In fact, Leonard was trying to hold up. We just looked at the replay with the fans and listened to the 12s. We could see the replay on the big screen. As Leo was going down to the ground, he actually stopped falling to the ground to try to hold Rattler up and still gets called. 1st and 10 for the Saints at their own 38. Handoff to Miller. Runs into his own lineman and falls across the 40 to the 41. He gets 3 yards. I know it's a tough job for the officials. I get it. Yeah. We ask them to do, or the league asks them to do, almost impossible things sometimes. Yeah. But for crying out loud, that was one of those plays where just look at the replay and you can see that wasn't a penalty. 2nd down and 6. Empty backfield for Rattler. 4-man rush. Quick throw far side. Ball is caught. Kendricks makes the tackle on the far side. It's Chris Olave with the reception. Picks up 7. I'm sorry, Dave.
Every once in a while I get a bad rap for, saying negative things about the officials, but it's never about the officials. To me, it's about what they're asked to do. Every game I played in, the officials were there to help me, and I always appreciated them.
Here's a 1st and 10 handoff to Miller. Starts up the middle, breaks a tackle, and fights his way to the 46-yard line of the Hawks. Picks up 6.
I think the penalties that bother me the most is that they say that they're trying to make it a safe game. It is not a safe game. It is inherently violent.
It is inherently a collision sport. 2nd down and 4. Play fake by Rattler. Looks downfield. Now he throws. Near side. Ball is caught. It's Brandon Cooks who makes the catch, and Reek Woolen is all over him. We've hardly called Brandon Cooks' name today, and he's a terrific big play receiver, but he's caught a couple of just short routes. That one, a 12-yard gain.
Well, we haven't really talked about Reek Woolen a lot, but I think that's because he's doing his job.
Exactly. 1st and 10 at the Seattle 34 for Rattler from the shotgun. Miller stays in the backfield. Seattle rushes 4. Rattler's going to throw. Got a man open near side. Ball is caught by Johnson, the tight end. Ty Okada in coverage, and that time Johnson kind of broke free, and Okada giving him a little too much ground. He picks up 21, and they're going to spot the ball just inside the Seattle 15 down at the 13.
And I think the underneath dropper could have helped out Ty a little bit. Put some air under that ball.
Well, that is the end of 3. 3 quarters in the books for the Seahawks, and the Saints can't wait to get these last 15 over with. Seattle leads 44-6.
For the Seahawks, growth is a team effort. Coaches maximize your performance. Teammates push your limits. But in business, who's there to help you grow? Lumen, that's who. like saving game day broadcasts from lag time, connecting 60,000 plus live fans at the stadium, delivering benefits of the cloud for your network, secure as a defensive line, legendary as the fans that cheer them on. Welcome to the on-demand network that meets your demands. Learn more at lumen.com. Service is not available everywhere.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Around the NFL with Curtis Rogers.
Cards and 49ers, not much offense in this one. It's tied 6-6. San Francisco, though, with the ball on the Cardinals' doorstep, looking to get the first touchdown of the game. Minute to play in the third quarter. Big news in that one, James Conner carted off the field for Arizona. He's been ruled out with an ankle injury. Cowboys and Bears, Chicago carving up the Dallas defense. Caleb Williams to Cole Kmet for his third passing touchdown of the day.
Williams firing. Got it, Kmet. Touchdown, Chicago.
Bears up 24-14, minute to play into the third quarter. Broncos and Chargers, LA got out to a 10-0 lead, but Denver has stormed back. Cortland Sutton on the receiving end of this fourth down heave from Bo Nix.
4th and 2. They got Dobbins. They got him downfield. Look at him. They got Sutton. That's 6. Touchdown, Denver. What a play.
And then later to start the second half, J.K. Dobbins finding the end zone for the orange and blue.
2nd and 4. The pressure, the McGlinchey block. Nice catch made with the stiff arm. Dobbins inside the 5. Diving. Touchdown.
Broncos up 17-13 late in the third quarter. We both go back to our guys at Lumen Field for the start of the fourth. Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman.
Seahawks are going to try to keep the Saints out of the end zone here, leading 44-6. New Orleans only has a couple of field goals. That third quarter, things have evened up a little bit on the stat sheet. Seahawks now with 260 total yards to the Saints 256. Seattle averaging 7.2 yards a play. Here is a 1st and 10 at the Seattle 13 for quarterback Spencer Rattler. He's got Kamara back in the backfield with him. A slot to the near side. Seattle looks like they want to rush 4. Rattler out of the shotgun. Seattle does rush 4. Rattler has time. Now he's got to scramble. Coming to his right side, near sideline. Now he's going to dump one over the top. Getting his feet down in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. That was a terrific play by Spencer Rattler. The Seahawks had pretty good coverage for almost all that. Then the tight end came free at the very end. It was Stoll who makes the catch from 13 out, and the Seahawks give up their first TD of the game.
Well, yeah, I think also you could make the case that Big Cat was Derek Hall. He had outside pass rush, and he was just walking the tackle back, and then he tried to turn and get to Rattler, and he just got held just a little bit. And then how about Byron Murphy? He's all the way out on the sidelines, chasing Rattler out of bounds.
Now there's movement. A false start on the Saints PAT team. I mean, the special teams coach is literally they're going to tie him to the wing. They're not even going to let him sit in the luggage compartment going home. There have been so many mistakes on special teams. Unbelievable today for the Saints.
Well, and you got to say, I mean, a lot of it's the players. I always feel bad for the coaches when you got a bunch of guys out there doing wrong.
Here's the PAT after it's backed up 5. Groupie does put it through. So with 14:53 to play here in the game, Seattle leads 44-13. You're listening to the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group. That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship. And what breed would you say Satchmo is? I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix. Tremendous dog. I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous. You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this. Now, let's see him in action. Look how he makes eye contact with his person. That's actually known as the treat stare. How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles. Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group. And finally, the loving face lick. It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks. Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one. Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
They'll challenge your authority because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Say-12s get 30 minutes of Seahawks news directly from Mike McDonald and the Seahawks players on Seahawks Press Pass, now on Kong. Catch shows Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at 11 p.m. That's Seahawks Press Pass at 11 p.m. on Kong every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. Blake Groupie back on to kick this ball away to Derek Young and Jacardier Wright. They're both standing inside the 5-yard line.
Well, you mentioned Mike McDonald calling out Drake Thomas on the kickoff team. And he's also out there on kickoff return, but he has just been a special teams demon.
There are a couple of those guys. Wide receiver Derek Young is one of those guys, too. Yeah. He's deep. Holani. So Groupie steps forward, right foots it, end over end. Going to be Young, 2 yards deep, and he's going to take a knee, and the Seahawks will get the ball. And Drew Lock will be quarterbacking by the by. Seahawks football brought to you by Emerald Queen Casino. It's Mustang Madness at the Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, where they're giving away 30 cars in 30 days. The biggest car giveaway in the Northwest is September 1st through 30th. Don't miss Mustang Madness, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Please game responsibly. So now we're going to see some of the Seahawks reserves, and a good idea of that. They'll get almost the whole fourth quarter here to play as Drew Lock comes in at quarterback. Josh Jones has moved into the left tackle slot. Olu Oluwatimi is in at center. Lock out of the shotgun, has Holani beside him in the backfield. Horton across the formation. They hand off to Holani, and he accelerates through and out to the 37, 38-yard line. Gain of 4 for George Holani, who was Johnny on the spot a week ago in Pittsburgh, to fall on the football in the end zone after the kickoff for a Seahawks touchdown.
I'll tell you, Drew Lock, he had a really good camp, and it's nice to have him back. It was almost like he hadn't left, but he worked on his footwork in the offseason, and he's a very reliable backup quarterback.
He goes under center here. He's got eye backs behind him, and the handoff goes to the tail of the eye. That's Holani, and he gets hit in the backfield and goes down. Let's go down to the sidelines and Jen.
You know, when you look at the numbers on the game, just 46 total rushing yards for this Seahawks group, and it can get frustrating. But Kennedy Palomalu made sure to tell them, look, just stick with the process, right? Get your pad level down. Just stick with the process. You know, it's frustrating when you are not getting the yards for your effort, but everything else has gone so well today.
Well, it sure has. And remember, too, the running backs can't do it on their own.
Yeah.
You know, you need a little blocking ahead of you. That time the blocking broke down.
And I'll tell you what, Kennedy Polamalu gets mentioned very often for good reason. He is an excellent coach, does a really good job with the running backs.
Somebody moved up front for the Seahawks as Jake Bobo was in motion.
Offense number 18, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Elijah Arroyo, the rookie tight end. Boy, they are so high on this kid, and he is an amazing athlete.
You know, I saw him do some really good things blocking-wise last week, because that was the thing about him. And I asked somebody, what about his blocking? And they're like, I can't say who it was, but he said, we don't care. We don't care about his blocking. He's such a good receiver. But he did a couple of things last week that he's starting to grow and develop in that area.
Well, that time he cost his team 5. It's 3rd down now and 12. Locke is going to look. He's going to swing it out to the near side to Olani, who gets a block, turns upfield. Can't quite get to the 40-yard line. There to make the tackle is that old linebacker, Demario Davis, who just still is flying around the field. So, brings up 4th down, and Michael Dixon, who has been on the field to hold for field goal and PAT attempts. So he's earned his check that way. His first punt of the day, and we've got a little over 13 minutes to play in the game. What a job by the Seahawks today, his first punt. Takes the snap, gets it away. It's kind of a line drive, but end over end. Making the catch out at the 18-yard line is Shaheed. He turns upfield, going far side, breaks a couple of tackles, has some sidelines open to him, breaks another tackle, gets it all the way across midfield. The first maybe misplay of the entire game for the Seahawks on special teams, and it was against a very good Pro Bowl return man in Shaheed. And so we will take a break there. 12:45 to play in the game. Saints have it 1st and 10 when we come back. Seahawks lead by a ton on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place. And then they act so surprised when I find them. But I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
So after a 40-yard punt return by Rashid Shaheed for the Saints, they have the ball 1st and 10 at the Seattle 44-yard line. Biggest play of the game so far for New Orleans, a pistol formation. Tailback is Kamara, lined up behind Rattler. Kamara gets the handoff, and he blasts in there. A lot of blue jerseys, but he's fearless. He's tough, 5'10", 215 in his 9th year. Out of Tennessee, picked up 2.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, I think it's the last 3 times. And actually, we're 0-4 going against. The last time we beat the Saints was 2014.
Rattler wants to throw. He does. Near side, Olave makes the catch, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down. Tyrese Knight is there, along with Ty Okada. Now Knight's going to come to the sideline. Another DB is going to come in. A 6-yard gain there. 3rd down and 3 at the Seattle 37. 12 minutes to play in this one. Seattle on top. Rattler, shotgun snap, going to hand it off and hit in the backfield. And going down is Kamara, and it's Morris. Mike Morris, the third-year defensive tackle out of Michigan, just runs right over his blocker, makes the tackle for a 1-yard loss.
It's just a total breakdown by their offensive line. You saw Jaron Reed in the backfield and Byron Murphy and Mike Morris. I mean, they are just dominating the line of scrimmage.
And the Saints are going to go for it on 4th and 4 at the Seattle 38. Kamara stays in the game. Rattler from the shotgun has a slot to his right side. Seattle has a single man deep. Rattler's going to get chased out of the pocket. Going to scramble, rolling to his right. Pointing, throwing. Ball is intercepted. Kendrick at the 25-yard line. Makes a sliding interception as Rattler throws it into coverage. Kendrick twice in 2 weeks comes up with the pick. Seattle has turned the Saints away again. 11:05 to play in this one. Seattle on top, 44-13.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details. Step into Seahawks game day at the Pro Shop, where the roar of the 12s begins. And official Seahawks gear is always within reach.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
This is the Pro Shop. Visit the official store of the Seattle Seahawks, located at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton.
It's the biggest car giveaway in the Northwest. We're giving away 30 cars in 30 days, September 1st through 30th. Mustang Madness at Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, the entertainment capital of the Northwest, where excitement lives.
Please game responsibly.
Around the NFL with Curtis Rogers.
Checking in on the NFC West, Cardinals and 49ers. San Francisco trying to put the ball in the Cardinals' end zone. Once again, they were stuffed on their previous drive on a 4th down attempt. Christian McCaffrey was blown up trying to receive a pass. They have the ball on Arizona's 2-yard line, 10 minutes to play. It's still a 6-6 ball game between those two at Levi Stadium. Broncos and Chargers 20-13 right now. Denver with the lead, 11 minutes to play. Chargers with the ball, looking to go to 3-0 on the season. Big one in Minnesota earlier today between the Bengals and Vikings. It was all Minnesota. It was all Isaiah Rodgers. Had a pick six and also a fumble return for a touchdown.
That's Fant. Lost the football. It's Rodgers again, off and running. Oh, my goodness. He runs it back for a second touchdown today.
Vikings with a 48-10 win over the Bengals. They go to 2-1. And how about the Commanders with a 41-24 victory over the Raiders? What a day it was for the Commanders return team.
And Jalen Wade gets past Cole the punter. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown.
Commanders with the blowout victory. 49ers just punched that one in. Kyle Juszczyk on the receiving end of a Mac Jones touchdown throw. It's 13-6 49ers over the Cardinals. Let's get back to Lumen Field. Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman.
All right, Curtis, thanks. Here at Lumen Field, Seahawks have the ball 1st and 10. Drew Lock goes under center with George Halani, the tailback. Play fake to Halani. Drew looks. Now he's going to throw it underneath. Halani makes the catch, turns upfield, gets positive yards, gets the first down. Out across the 35-yard line, an 11-yard gain. Drew Lock going to play now the rest of the way, we hope. Nothing happens to him. Sam Darnold finishes the day 14 of 18 for 218, 2 touchdowns, a 154.2 QB rating. That is the second best passer rating in a game in franchise history. Russell Wilson with a 158.3. That's perfect. That happened way back in 2018. So nice job, Sam. And a lot of backups in on offense right now. 1st and 10 from the 36. The handoff to Halani. Tries to sidestep a tackler. Runs into a wall. Demario Davis being one of those guys, the linebacker, and good one he is for the Saints for all these years, a gain of 1.
This is such a great situation for Mike McDonald, getting some of the rookies, some of the backups, getting some playing time. See Jake Bobo out there. You mentioned some of the changes at offensive line with Oluwatimi playing a little bit of center. Josh Jones at tackle. And this is just great work. You can't get this kind of stuff in practice.
2nd down and 9. Locke again under center with a slot to the far side. Blitz is coming. Drew sees it, gets rid of the ball, and Horton doing a job as a defensive back, I think actually knocked the ball away from Alante Taylor, the cornerback. Both slid to the ground. The ball was a little behind as pressure was coming on Drew Locke to get rid of that football. It is an incompletion, and it brings up 3rd down and 9.
I'll tell you who didn't bring pressure is the guy George Helani blocked there. He had a kind of an oots moment there. Nice job by George. You got to prove that you can block as well. Did a really good job in pass pro there.
Motion across the formation. From right to left, the handoff goes to Helani, who slips a little, getting through the line of scrimmage, and then is tackled out across the 40. And then it'll be punt time again for the Seahawks offense after a 4-yard gain. The clock continues to move. 9.5 minutes to play. My guess is this might be one game where we finish the game with both sides having all 3 of their timeouts remaining at the end of this one.
Yeah, I'm guessing the Saints want to get out of here, get out of town. They got to go to Buffalo next week. I was just talking to Deuce McAllister, who does my job on the radio for New Orleans, and great running back, by the way.
Sure was.
That's a color analyst that was a really good football player.
Wait a minute, I was a color analyst for 20 years.
Well, I wasn't talking about you.
What a rocket shot by Dixon. This thing is going to bring rain, and a fair catch called for and just barely made by Shaheed on the far side. The Saints will start inside their own 15-yard line. Shop your favorite jerseys at the Pro Shop. From nostalgic throwback jerseys to classic navy and white, available with the 50th season patch. Also, don't miss the new Rivalries jerseys. Shop in-store at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field, or now online at Seahawks.com. 1st and 10, Saints at their own 13. Spencer Rattler's gone all the way at quarterback. Any experience, good, bad, or indifferent, is going to help him as he tries to throw a slant route near side and throws it right into the hands of an on-rushing defensive lineman for
Mike Morris.
It was Mike Morris.
Yeah, he's getting some good reps in there. You got the young fellas in there like Byron Murphy still in, but just a great chance, great opportunity to get some reps, live game reps here that are, like I said, can't get this in practice. Great that Mike McDonald able to take advantage of this situation.
2nd down and 10. Rattler is going to hand the ball off to Miller. He wanted to start wide to the right side, cut back up inside, and then ran into Mike Morris again, who has really shown well here as he's gotten a serious amount of game action. A 3-yard gain, going to bring 3rd down and 7, 8.5 to play in the game. And Seattle up by 31.
Tell you what, Darian Kendrick, we've talked about him a number of times. He did a great job in the run, forcing that back inside. And just another great pickup. They got him off of the Rams, and he is, four times gotten his hand on the ball and a couple interceptions.
Seahawks are going to blitz. Rattler has some time now. He's going to scramble to his right. He's got some open running room, and he overthrows Brandon Cooks by about 10 yards. He could have run for that 1st down, and he threw that ball way over his intended receiver. And so it brings up 4th down, and on to punt once again, the Saints kicker, Kai Kroger. Kellen Moore, they just showed a shot of him standing on the sidelines. I told my wife Sharon, I call it halftime, and I said, you know what? I love this for our team, a big win. But I hated to see it for Kellen Moore, who's such a good guy, terrific guy from our state, Prosser, great quarterback at Boise State. He'll have his days as winning a lot of football games as a fair catch is made by Horton on the run. But today was certainly not his or the Saints' day. Say 12s, enroll in Delta 12 status and earn 1 mile for every Seahawks passing yard this season. 12 status members also get priority boarding out of SeaTac Airport and a 12% discount at the Seahawks Pro Shop on the 12th of each month. Visit 12status.com to learn more.
They're, of course, showing the Beastquake run.
I know they are on the TV. They showed it here in the stadium earlier.
Yeah.
Got huge applause, as well it should, and it's still talked about as one of the great plays in the history of this great National Football League.
My favorite part was he pushes the man.
He's still going. Eye backs this time as Locke hands the ball straight ahead, getting out to close to the 47-yard line. That's the first career carry for running back Jacardier Wright, who is now in at tailback.
Well, he is a big physical guy, kind of like Zach Charbonnet, that he can run you over, and had a pretty good preseason. I'm glad they kept him around.
14 touchdowns when he was at Missouri, so he knew how to find the end zone. And now clock is ticking down, and Seahawks are showing no sign of. Now Drew Lock breaks the huddle with 4-3. They get up to the line of scrimmage, hand the ball off. Wright almost breaks that tackle for a first down, just shy. Make it a 6-yard gain.
Wonder if we're going to see the barnyard here.
Might.
I think so.
Although maybe not. Most of those guys now are on the sidelines. So it's going to be 3rd down and 1. And Drew Lock and company are doing a great job of milking this clock. They're just going to stay in the huddle till about 7 or 8 seconds on the clock, then run to the line of scrimmage and run the play. Clock keeps moving now. 6:34 and counting. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5. Lock under center. And now timeout is called. Who called it? I guess Mike must have.
Yeah.
Maybe thinking that we don't want to take a penalty. I thought he had time to get that snap off.
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting that he's doing that. That they're, because it's almost simulating like a hurry up situation. And we just want to make sure it's like they're working on things right now.
Yeah.
They got that kind of lead that they can start to work on some of the little things that you don't get a chance to work on.
Which is a reason why I'm certain that we're seeing Spencer Rattler play all the way through this game, as the same thing holds true for Kellen Moore and the Saints team. They need to see their young quarterback in as much game action as they can. And so many of those starters are still playing through all of this, especially the younger ones.
Well, that's I just think it's so brilliant of Mike. He's always thinking ahead, and it's kind of like a game typically will just go its own way, and sometimes you get to things, sometimes you don't, and so he's basically creating that situation.
On a 3rd down and 1, an offset eye, the handoff goes to Wright, and he pushes the pile forward and gets that first down inside the Saints' 45-yard line. Sticks will move. And now the Seahawks will go back into that burn clock time. I beg your pardon, it was Holani, not Jacardier Wright. Jacardier comes back into the game, and Holani now comes back to the sidelines. Brought him in for one play, pick up the first down. Thank you, sir. Now head back over and get some oxygen.
Holani is he's got that built-in leverage. He's got some short legs, and he's one of those guys, not very tall, but man, I'll tell you what, he is under everybody's pads, and he's just got a strength to him.
Handoff goes to Wright. He was the tail of the eye. Brady Russell is now in the game for Oots at fullback. Russell, of course, a backup to the backup tight ends, but also a terrific special teamer. 1 yard gained on the play. Now inside of 5.5 to play in this one. 2nd down and 9 with the ball at the Saints' 44. And between plays, there's just a lot of walking around going on right now, as everything is just sort of slowed to a crawl.
Well, and some of the fans leaving for a good reason, leaving early.
That's right, so far ahead.
Not like the Steeler fans last week.
And they'll be listening to us and the postgame show on the radio on the way out. Wright sidesteps a man in the backfield, jumps over another man. He has another first down inside the Saints' 35-yard line. I'm telling you, we got a bunch of high jumpers in the backfield for the Seahawks. Picks up 10 yards. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Columbia Bank Radio Network.
96.1, 580 The Game, KTMT 580 AM, and K241CA 96.1 FM Ashland.
Tell you what, some great blocking by the tight ends on that play. You saw Arroyo get a block, and then Saubert, just a grinder, man. He was fighting his tail off to get that first down.
Here's a 1st and 10 handoff, and Wright kind of slipping a little bit as he tried to cut back as he took the ball left side. Little more penetration, I think, than the O-line coach, John Benton, and the offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, would like to see coming off that left side. But again, remember, we've got a number of backups up front in the game right now. Makes it 2nd down and 10, no gain on the play. At the Saints 34, now we're inside of 4 minutes to play, 3:50 and counting. And if I haven't given it to you enough, the Seahawks on top 44-13. Offset eye, Russell's the fullback. Wright, the tailback. Lock under center. Hand the ball off. Wright starts to bounce it outside right. Did the ball come out? Might have. Saints think they have it. They do. The rookie coughs it up. Jacardier Wright on a run to the outside. And so the Saints are going to take over. The Seahawks have turned the ball over. I beg your pardon. It's Holani who's back in there. That's unusual, too, because Holani's very sure-handed.
Yeah, and is it Riley who made the tackle there? I mean, he put his helmet right on the ball. I don't know if there's much that Holani could have done there.
So the Saints take over, 1st and 10 at their own 34 with 3.5 to play in the game and trailing by a mile. And in the ball game is now Tyler Shuck at quarterback. A toss backside. Ball is almost fumbled by Miller, but he was able to reach back and hang on to it. He got hit by a couple of Seahawks, still gained 6 yards, but the University of Louisville product by way of Oregon and Texas Tech is in at quarterback for the Saints here. Mop up this last 3:10 as the clock keeps moving.
You see Jarek Reed there with a little pop in his bat. Came up and knocked the running back for a loop.
Shuck has Miller behind him in the backfield. Play fake to him. Shuck's going to roll right. He's going to throw, and he's going to miss his tight end Stoll on a little out route. Tight coverage by Ty Okada. The Saints looking for a little bit of accuracy out of their quarterbacks, and neither have really shown that today. Shuck's first action since preseason. Going to bring up 3rd down and 4.
Talk about all the backups in there. You mentioned Okada, and then, you saw Jarek Reed. Everybody was just all over their coverage on that play. Nowhere to go for Shuck.
Cook's in motion from right to left. He sets in a slot. Shuck out of the shotgun, gets hit as he throws the ball on a blitz and throws it into the Seahawks bench area. It was Okada blitzing. Shuck is a good-sized kid at 6'5", 219. Okada wasn't able to knock him off his feet just as he threw that football, and it sails harmlessly out of bounds.
I love that Mike's bringing a safety blitz up the middle in a situation like this.
Leading by 31.
If I'm him, I'm like, hey, we're just working on stuff here.
Sure. Kroger back on to punt. He's going to have to pack his leg in ice on the way home. Torrey Horton, the deep man. He already has a 95-yarder for a touchdown, telling everybody to get away on the short kick. It bounces just inside the 30 and then out of bounds at about the 24-yard line of Seattle. That's where the Hawks will start 1st and 10. Say 12. Stay connected all season with the Seahawks mobile app, now on Apple CarPlay. Listen on the road to podcasts, press conferences, live game, radio, and score updates. Download today from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
Well, things to talk about in a 44-13 route like this, Steve. I'm looking at Mike McDonald. Looks like he's been in the weight room. He's getting after it.
Got the guns going. No question about that. Olu, a late add to the offensive front, runs onto the field with 2:37 to play in the game. Holani back in the game at tailback behind Brady Russell, so I backs. Holani gets a handoff, makes a man miss, wraps both arms around the ball, draws 4 other Saints in white jerseys, and still hasn't gone down.
You imagine trying to bring that guy down?
Let's go down to the sidelines and Jen.
Yeah, Steve, we were kind of wondering the Holani and Jacardier situation here right now. Jacardier is on the sideline talking to trainers. He's got his right shoe off as they look at his foot, I think is what's happening over there. So expect to see more of Holani.
Not anymore before the 2-minute warning, as we have reached 2 minutes to play in this one. The sun is setting on the Saints. The Seahawks killing them 44-13.
Hey Seahawks fans, this is Steve Rabel for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. Do you suffer from heartburn? Did you know that chronic heartburn can be a symptom of something more serious going on in your body? Many people can lessen heartburn symptoms by modifying their diet, exercise, and weight loss. However, if symptoms persist, it is best to consult your doctor as soon as you can. Find a doctor today and schedule your appointment at vmfh.org/Seahawks.
Football fans know tradition matters. That's why Tostitos are made the traditional way, starting with whole corn kernels. No artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. All to give you the perfect crunch. Discover your next tradition this football season. Grab your Tostitos team bag and scan the code for a chance to score an epic experience with the Seahawks. Tostitos, the official snack food of the Seattle Seahawks. No purchase necessary. Must be a U.S. resident, 21 or older. Ends 12/27/25. Odds vary by number of eligible entries. For official rules, visit FritoLayExperiences.com.
Place your bets. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, bet, and win. Bet on all your favorite sports: football, hockey, basketball, soccer, baseball, tennis, boxing, and MMA. Let the bets begin at the biggest and best in the Northwest. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Please gamble responsibly.
Say, Charles, want the latest on the Seahawks? Well, we have you covered with the Seahawks Insiders podcast, hosted by Jen Mueller and John Boyle. They break down all the latest news, preview the next Seahawks opponent. You can watch on YouTube via the Seahawks official channel. You can also listen to episodes on Seahawks.com/podcast and subscribe to Seahawks podcasts on Sirius XM, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and now available on Apple CarPlay. The Seahawks have now held their opponents to 17 points or fewer in each of the first 3 games of the season for just the 5th time in franchise history. Goes back to 1988, 1998, 2004, and 2013, which happened to be a Super Bowl year. Don't want to jinx anything, but the Seahawks defense has really shown in these opening 3 games. The Saints just have 13 on the board today, and they've had their opportunities. 1st and 10 Seahawks, Drew Lock under center. I beg your pardon, 2nd down and 6. Drew Lock under center from his own 27, going to hand the ball off. Holani stutter steps at the line. A couple of defenders are left picking up their undergarments, and Holani across the 30 for 5 yards.
He is so low to the ground. He has the shortest legs. He's the opposite of KJ Wright.
Oh, yeah.
Remember KJ with those big, long legs, but he's built perfectly to be a running back, and it's hard to get underneath that guy, and he is powerful.
3rd down and 2. Clock now down to $1:25 and counting. Ball on the Seattle 31. Drew again taking a lot of time coming out of the huddle. He shifts Jake Locker over from the right side to the left. Holani beside him in the backfield. Looks like Drew out of the shotgun. Does he want to throw? No, he's going to hand the ball off to Holani, who bounces off a tackler. He bounces off another. He's got a 1st down. That's going to ice it as the ball is down at the 40, make it the 39-yard line. And the Seahawks now, one more snap, and this one's going to be over. Coming up on the Seahawks postgame show, Michael Bumpus, Paul Moyer, Ray Roberts, Brian Walters, going to break down this game. I got a feeling they're going to be in favor of everything we just told you. You'll also hear from Mike McDonald, Jen Mueller, and she's going to be speaking with a couple of Seahawks players. It's all coming up after the game. And what a terrific entire team performance today. Special teams, offense, defense, you name it, as Drew Lock takes the final snap and a kneel down, and that is going to do it.